Okay, so yeah, I haven't done this in ages, so just let me know if you guys can hear me. I know the music is probably still a little bit loud compared to, you know, me talking. But yeah, let me just know if you guys can hear me before You can hear me? Okay, great. Hi there. Hi everyone. No music. Why? Oh good lord. Fantastic. Let me just... You can hear fine? Okay. Yeah, so I'm just going to do this really quickly and see if I can... Honestly, I have absolutely no clue why it's doing this. What are you doing? Okay, can you let me know if you guys can hear music at any point? I'm fiddling with my OBS settings. Like, I don't think the music will be really loud or anything. It's supposed to be like the Sims 2 soundtrack. But yeah, if you guys can't hear the music, then I am literally just going to leave it. I don't know. I don't think I changed anything from the last time I streamed. So honestly, I don't even know with OBS anymore. You can hear it now? Okay, great. I don't know. Yeah, you can hear it a tiny bit? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna just do that. I don't want it to be too loud for you guys. You can hear music? It's quite low? Okay, great. Yeah, no, it's supposed to be low. It's supposed to be... I don't want it to be overwhelming. Especially because I am not talking really... I'm not talking super loudly. And also, I'm not at my normal setup. So yeah, hi you guys. So yeah, I'm as you can see, I am not at my regular PC setup. I'm at my PC obviously, but this is like it's not my room. It's not where I'm supposed to be. But yeah, let me know if the music is at any point if it's too loud or anything like that, because I know last time I streamed I streamed, I think, with the same, like, I also used the Sims 2 soundtrack. And... Thank you, Hen. Yeah, no, this is the face of someone that hasn't slept properly in, like, 4 days. But yeah. It's been a week. Honestly, it's been a week. And I need to put my OBS on my main monitor for a second, otherwise I'm going to keep looking at myself. Who sleeps anymore? Yeah, that is true. Just, I've been sleeping in the living room. I'm actually in the living room at this point in time. Technically I'm in the dining room, but anyway. So, like, right there is the couch. You guys obviously can't see it. But there's the couch, the TV is on that wall behind me. And I've just been sleeping on the couch because I don't really... Obviously, if you guys follow me over on Twitter, you already know all about this. But I am going to go into... I'm not gonna rant, but this stream is supposed to be a just... Like, let's catch up and talk and... see what happens stream. So yeah, I mean, if you guys follow me on Twitter, you know this, but we've had construction workers here almost all week, and they were here on Wednesday to do something outside, like to the roof outside. And then on Thursday and Friday, they came in and they had to like repaint my entire ceiling. Not ceiling, but the ceiling and my room. Because a couple of weeks ago, they came and they replaced the ceiling in my bedroom, which is also where I have my setup, obviously. You saw the photos of your stone floor? Yeah, that's something that actually a few people commented on. And the stone floor that I'm currently on it's in the living room and it's technically the living room, but we have like two couches. So like we have one set up this way and then another one against the wall that's opposite the TV. So behind the couch, we have our dining room table, which we literally never ever use. I mean, it's been used, I think, like 4 times maybe since we've gotten it in like the past 3 years. So we don't use it. But it's this big like 6 or 8 seater dining table. And then on this side of me, where you guys can see the counter, that's the kitchen. This is technically the bar counter, and then behind it we have another island and the whole kitchen thing. But anyway, so the living room is that stone flooring because this house was built in, honestly, I think it was the 70s, if I had to guess. I know our landlord, she's like, I think she's in her 60s already. And her father built this house. Like, he built it himself. And apparently that in that time, like, I'm guessing like 70s, 60s, 70s, having a stone floor like this throughout the like main living space was very common, apparently. Because my dad, his family has a beach house, like a couple of hours from where we live. And that used to be like, they used to live in the Northern Cape, and then they would come down here every like December vacation to the beach and stuff. And his father, my late grandfather, built their house as well, and it had the exact same stone flooring, like, or the type of stone flooring. So apparently it was a thing in like the 50s or the 60s or whatever. Hi Erica. You feel like everyone has a large dining room table they never use? Yeah, turn joy into the desk. That's exactly what I had to do. Hi Kelly. Hi Autistic Simmer. You never use your dining room table either? Yeah, mom used it for making her bath stuff. You love the look of the stone floor, but you could never have it yourself. It's so cold there. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you have carpets. Yeah, that is another thing. Like, we don't have carpets anywhere. Like, ever. Since we've lived in the Western Cape, we've lived here for going on 16 years. We've lived in one house that has had carpet in the living room and the bedrooms. One house. That is it. Like, all of the houses over here, they all have either tiling or stone flooring. It's just, it's what happens because our houses are built to keep in cold. Not like, it's supposed to stay colder. But yeah, you just decided, yeah. So, funny thing with the dining room table, you guys are currently on the dining room table. Like, I have my whole PC set up on my dining room table because it's kind of the same size as my desk. It's a little bit shorter than my desk, but yeah, it's big enough for me to have the necessities on here, like obviously my PC setup. And that, yeah. Yeah. Well, technically, you're behind it because normally I have my webcam on my monitor, but I don't have it that way right now. Usually I have my ring lights mounted on my desk. You don't have carpets in Brazil either? Yeah. I think it's a climate thing. obviously, because, you know, UK is usually a lot colder. Okay. Callie, really? The places my mind just went, it's not PG-13, which is usually what I try to keep my YouTube channel. But yeah. Oh my word. Yeah, no. But yeah, usually I have my ring lights mounted on the desk. Not here, so I have I have 2 ring lights and I have 2 tripods for them. I just don't know where the other one is. I have one of them on right now. So yeah, I have the tripod behind the table, the ring light on it, and then the camera in the ring light. Yeah. Really? Hi, cat lover. I'm good. How are you? Yeah, I'm in a mood apparently. Like, yeah, this is sleep deprivation, I think. Like, but yeah, so I don't even know. It's great to see people laugh. Yeah. I mean, it's really nice actually laughing because, like I said, the past week has been a lot. And I hate having people in my house. But yeah, it's been a lot. And I'm still sick, by the way. So if you see me, like, wiping my nose at any point, you're too young to be either. Oh my word. Yeah. Honestly, I don't... This stream has started off fantastically. Like, it... But yeah. How are you guys, though? I feel like I've been talking a lot. And just... blame you, yeah. Okay, yeah, so everyone blame Callie. It's Callie's fault. Exhausted from Comic-Con? Yeah, I mean, Comic-Con, it's the one in Pretoria, right? It's the one that's been going on in Pretoria. You're good, I'm glad. Joburg, yeah, Joburg. Technically, I think it's like, isn't it like halfway between both? I think it's like literally halfway between both, because I know at the beginning of the year, when we had some sort of convention, I point that way as if you guys can see it. Exhausted from existing. Fair enough. But yeah, I'm pointing that way as if you can see it, but like, we have obviously our big windows over there that looks out onto the ocean and the mountains and like everything. And Cape Town is that way. So I keep pointing that way. But yeah, so we had some sort of convention here at the beginning of the year, right? Can't remember what it was. But I know after that, I was looking into maybe going to Comic-Con. And I was looking at like... It was in the south of... Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I forgot. I wasn't thinking about Comic-Con. I was thinking about Rage. Yeah, I'm thinking about the Rage Expo. My bad. Yeah. So how was Comic-Con? Just enjoying a tropical storm? Yikes. Yeah, so... This is, like... Speaking of storms... It's supposed to... We actually got a level 2 weather warning. Hi, Mel. Everyone, if you guys don't know, Simza, who just popped into the chat, she's an absolutely amazing builder. Like, the level of detail... I'm getting sidetracked. But the level of detail she puts into her builds is astounding. Like, you know, I love clutter. I love detailing. I love being extra with stuff like that. but she puts me to shame. Like, if you guys don't know her, go check out her channel. She's, like I said, absolutely freaking incredible. But yeah, so on the topic of storms, we got a level 2 weather warning for the entire Western Cape today, and I'm kind of nervous about it because we're supposed to get something like 45, 46 millimeters of rain tonight and tomorrow. And that's terrifying to me because the last time we got a lot of rain, I think we got more than that though, but the last time we had a lot of rain, some of you guys might remember that whole thing, like the flooding and the roof leaking and bad. And this weekend I'm home alone, so I don't want to deal with any of that. yeah, hopefully I'll be, I don't think it will be as bad as the last time, because the last time was kind of like a freak accident. We had a cloud break, and because we're like halfway up a mountain, it just, all of the water came down. So I don't think it will be that bad. But if you guys start hearing rain at any point, or wind, because it is windy, I hate it. I really hate it. And because I'm not in my room, I'm in the living room, I don't even know what the sound is like. Like, I don't usually do anything in here. So, who else is a wonderful builder? Oh, thank you, Hen. Yeah, that is a lot of rain. Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, it was pretty fun. I saw some cool cosplays. Lots of plum bobs. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about going to the Rage Expo maybe at the end of the year, but obviously with everything that happened after that, not happening. Not this year in any case. Aww. You guys are so nice. Thank you. But yeah, so I'm glad you had a nice time at Comic-Con. I saw a couple of people like posting videos and pictures and stuff like that about it, so it looked fun. I've never been to a convention of any kind, like, ever. Like, I don't know. Nothing ever happens here, though. John Barrowman. I have no idea who that is. Yeah, I have no clue. Like, at all. Aww. Thank you. But yeah, like, I've never been to a convention, so I have no idea, like... Jack Hart? I don't know. What are you guys talking about? Like, educate me, because I have no clue what you're talking about. No worries, Simsa. Thank you. Thank you for popping by. Aww. Thank you. Oh, Doctor Who and Torchwood. Yeah, see? So, no clue. I've never watched a single episode of Doctor Who in my life. Of any of the seasons. Like, none. So, I have no idea who that is. Also, Torchwood. No clue. You're confused too? Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of like, I want to say pop culture, but like there's a lot of things like celebrities and characters and stuff like that that people talk about that, like, for some reason it feels like everyone grew up knowing who they were, and I'm just sat here like, nope, no clue, none whatsoever. Oh, if you're British, yeah. No. Even wore the TARDIS dress. See, like, I recognize words like that. Like TARDIS, and, you know, I recognize stuff like that. I've never seen it. I've never watched an episode of Doctor Who. Which I feel like it's a very dangerous thing to say. I feel kind of like It's a little bit dangerous saying that I've never seen an episode of Doctor Who. But I just haven't. And for some reason, YouTube is telling me that the stream is only at 360p, like the quality of it. Let me know if you guys can watch it in any other qualities, because it's not supposed to be like that. But yeah, like I said, I have not streamed in a while. Okay, you're watching in 10. Okay, good. So it's just my preview being weird. Okay. Okay, no, so that's good to know. That's very good to know. It had me stressed there for a second, so yeah. Like I said, this is why I don't stream more often. You're watching in HD? Okay, good. Yeah, I don't... Oh, okay, so it's 480 for you, but yours is on... Wow. Yours is on auto. Okay, yeah, no. Yeah, I know, because auto, like, it chooses what's best for your internet speed. You haven't seen an episode of Doctor Who? Okay, so, yeah, at least there's 2 of us. Yeah, okay, so because, I know, stuff like that, and things like telling people I've never played Stardew Valley. Or Mario. I've never played a Mario game in my life. And I feel like everyone also always, like, it's some sort of weird thing. 3 of us? Okay, great. Yeah, no, I've never played Stardew. Ever. You've watched a couple, but it's not for you. Yeah. I don't know, I feel like it's one of those things where you either love it or you don't. Like, it's either for you or it's not. You haven't played Stardew yet either? Okay. You neither? Okay. See? This is why you guys are my people. Only popular games you've played are Sims and Planet Zoo. Yeah, I've played Planet Zoo. I've played Planet Coaster. But things like... I don't know. I feel like it's... I don't know. I don't know if it's because I never grew up playing games. Let's ask the very important questions. EP number 3. Oh, I was confused there for a second. I thought you meant like episode. And I was gonna ask like, what episode? Of what? See? The world had better come with apartments. Oh no. Yeah. Yeah, like, I have no clue. Like, I sincerely have absolutely no idea. Thailand? I wish. But, yeah. I don't know. I feel like everyone's been speculating about what that could be, about what it could be. Yes, you're thinking Thailand. And I think I saw some people talking about that. Is that because of the food that they had in the teaser, like the dishes that you could see in the little like roadmap teaser, right? I think I saw someone saying that one of it looked like a Thai dish or something. But honestly, I haven't. Part of me has forgotten that they said we're getting another expansion pack. Yeah, I have actually forgotten. That's why I thought you meant like episode 3, because my brain, I forgot that we were getting another expansion pack this year. The food and the teapot. Teapot is a big clue. Oh, okay. But yeah, I've forgotten that we're getting another one. All I'm thinking of at the moment is the new stuff pack, because yes. See, that's the thing. I feel like with everything else going on right now, and I have like 1,000 different things on my brain at the moment, I feel like I kind of just I don't know, I felt like I just glossed over the entire behind the Sims Summit thing. Because normally I would do a, like, either a recap video or a reaction video or, you know, something like that about a stream like that. And this time I didn't, just because, and I even mentioned this on Twitter, like, the one time I decide not to do a proper video covering all of the news, they decide to announce, like, stuff that we were never expecting to get again, like stuff packs coming back and having a third expansion pack in 1 year, which has never happened. You're excited, super excited for the new stuff pack, and for once no kits. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, free the cupcakes. Yes. So, like, with everything else going on, I feel like I haven't had the brain space to even properly process the fact that we're getting a stuff pack, let alone potentially getting a, like, not potentially, but actually getting another expansion. Like, even with the cupcake stuff, like, I was so excited when I watched that stream, when I saw about, you know, the cupcakes and the stuff pack and the expansion and everything like that, and I just, since then, it's kind of like, it's just completely whoop, gone out of my head. Hi, Gwendolyn. Hi. Yeah, I recognize your name. I recognize your name from the Discord. Welcome in. How are you doing? But yeah, so, like, I don't know. With the expansion, honestly, I don't even know what it could be. Like, with everything that we have, are we getting a waffle maker? Yes! Yes, we are. In the stuff pack. In the stuff pack, we're getting a waffle maker, like a stand mixer for, I'm assuming, for, like, baking, obviously. And we're also getting a pizza oven. Like, an actual, like, standing on the counter pizza oven. And obviously a bunch of recipes and stuff, which I think is one of the things that I'm most excited about, is the new recipes. But yeah, we're getting a waffle maker. You're fine, and I'm glad. Yeah, I'm good. Let's just say I'm good. There's massively overwhelmed and stressed and all over the place, but good. Yeah, the cooking UI overhaul as well. Like, there was so much in that stream, like, in those announcements, that I feel like my brain just, it processed it, and then it promptly, like, decided to put it away because I have other stuff that's kind of like, just, yeah, I don't have the space to process all of it. Right? I almost forgot about the pizza oven. Yeah, I don't know, it's not a blender, it's a mixer, like, you know, for mixing ingredients for, like, baking. So, I don't really know what the point of it is, like, gameplay wise, because obviously at the moment we can bake cakes and all of that stuff in the oven without a mixer. So I don't know if the mixer is going to, yeah, like a KitchenAid, yeah. So I don't know if that's going to, like, just speed up the process of baking, or if there are going to be things that you maybe can't make if you don't have one of those. Like, you know, you can't make pizzas in the oven, you need the pizza oven to make them. You can't make waffles on the stovetop, you need the waffle maker to make them. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. I've actually been holding off. There's a couple of builds that I really want to finish and that I just want to do. And I've been holding off on doing them because they're residential lots. And I kind of don't want to do a kitchen without the new pack. So I've just been sat here this past week. Like, I have so many builds that I need to finish. And I have builds that I want to do that I haven't even started yet. But I don't want to start any of them without the pack. So I'm just sat here like, what community lot can I build? Looking at the UI overhaul, it shows that we're getting prepped vegetable ingredients and also dough as ingredients. My guess is you're going to now be able to prep stuff. Oh! I remember The Sims 2 that there was a baby food maker. Yeah, that would be really cool. But yeah, so see, stuff like that. Like, I didn't even go through that stream and like pause it and look at stuff. I didn't do that. I didn't even do that. Which is so, like, not like me. So stuff like that. And that would make sense because in the trailer, in the stuff pack trailer, they have these little, like, almost like Tupperware on the counters. So I'm guessing those are like the prepped vegetables. Now we just need cakes to be in the baking category. Yeah, cooking cupcakes. Finally eating corner shelves. Again, no idea. None. I don't even remember seeing corner shelves. And you're dreading how many kitchens you need to rearrange? Same. Same. Especially for households. Like, I'm not going to go through and rearrange every single kitchen that I've done for my save file. I'm just not doing it. But for households that they have a sim in the household that's like a chef, for example, or a baker, or, you know, something like that, where I know that they spend I built the kitchen with the idea of them spending a lot of time in the kitchen. So those kitchens I'm going to have to go in and rearrange, which I am dreading. Yeah, you must have a good eye, because like I said, stuff like that, did not notice any of it. I know I did a trailer reaction to the stuff pack, but my entire reaction was basically just me freaking out about the new appliances. And the new counters, like the kitchen counters. But all of the other stuff that might have been in there, I just did not see it. You have no life and just look at everything all the time. You see, I have no life either. But I don't have the attention span to do that. At least not at the moment. So yeah, I mean, I guess at least that means that when I get the pack and I actually build with it, some of it will still be a surprise, which is nice, because usually when I get a pack, none of it is a surprise anymore, which kind of sucks. I mean, gameplay is always a surprise because I never check out the gameplay myself, but build buy wise, it'll be nice to have something that's still a little bit of a surprise. So I want to show you guys something really quickly. And this is something that I'm not going to be posting anywhere. Sorry. I have some Coke next to me because my throat is killing me. But let me I need to rearrange all of my windows and OBS and everything. Yeah. See, I'm also excited for another kitchen. I'm always excited for another kitchen. Like, at this point, I will accept any new kitchen counters that they give us. Like, we just need more of them. Yeah, the waterfall edges. I love counters with waterfall edges. And at the moment, we only have one. We have the island living ones. And they don't fit anywhere. I would love, especially since these are modern. You're frantically trying to figure out the hints for the expansion. Yeah, see, usually I would be sat here like, you know, speculating about what it could be, etc, etc. And I haven't given the new expansion like a single moment of thought. At all. Which is so weird. Like I said, until Hen brought it up earlier, I didn't even remember that we were getting one. I had completely forgotten that we were getting another expansion pack this year. Like having new kitchen counters, especially with matching cabinets, because that's one of my biggest issues with the island living ones is they're really nice counters. They would fit in modern homes. Apart from the fact that they have those, like, not wire, but like woven, like, baskets in the front. And they don't have any matching cabinets, which sucks. But yeah, so I'm going to show you guys this really quickly. And this is actually... yeah, when you're creating a save, you realize yeah, exactly. When you're building stuff, like, right after each other, and you're trying intentionally to build a bunch of different styles, especially, you realize just how few options you have. And if you're trying to make it CC free as well. But yeah, so this is my unfinished builds. So, like, as you can see, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. Like, these are all Sims 4 builds. And I have 9 of them. And these are just the unfinished ones. I think the new EP is going to give Snowy Escape vibes. Like, it's going to be focusing on a new culture and how the culture lives, and probably introduce a side theme. Huh. That could be really cool. Like, we're desperately in need of another, like, non-American world. And that would actually be really nice. I don't know, like, so far the only hints I've seen have been the dishes, like, the food. So, I have no idea. And then the whole, like, neighborly vibe thing. But at this point, honestly, the only thing that I'm hoping for with the new expansion, and I'm putting this out there now, the only thing that I'm really hoping for is more apartments. That's it. I honestly, this is going to sound bad, but, like, obviously I would love a more cultural world from a different culture. You can imagine the world by being top tier. Yeah, definitely, same. But yeah, so, like, obviously I would love another, like, non-American themed thing. Like, anything. But at this point, I don't really care about the theme of the pack. Like, I don't care about the theme of the pack. Yes, I will be a little bit disappointed if it's just another American world based on an American place. That would suck. But as long as they give us more apartments, I will be happy. Canadian world would be cool. Yes, more apartments, yeah. Like, I mean, obviously, if they could give us that with a, like, different world, like, not American, it would be fantastic. But even if they still gave us an American world, but with more apartments, I would still be happy with it. Mainly for the more apartments thing. Simgrew Ash actually hinted a while back that they think they can do better than the city living apartments. I think she said they could even do better than apartments from older games. Now that has me intrigued. Like, that has me really intrigued. Because for me, the, like, top tier apartments, top tier, is the Sims 2 apartments. They are the best ones, in my opinion. From someone who has played with the Sims 3 apartments, the Sims 2 ones are top tier because you can do anything with them. There's so much you can do with them. They're so customizable. You can build your own, and you don't have to just build apartments. You can build townhouses, all of those different things. You can even, like, do, like, a share house type thing where you just rent a room. So, like, that would be amazing. We definitely do not need another American world. Nope. You're only kidding. You wouldn't want another. Wouldn't want the Canadian world. I'm American. I'm fine with the non-American world. Yeah. Yeah. yeah, like, honestly, that would be incredible. Like, I would love to see them try and top The Sims 2 apartments, because that would be a task in and of itself. You've never played The Sims 2? Callie. That's the one thing. Like, I will never shame a simmer for, like, only playing one of the Sims games. Like, only playing The Sims 4, only playing The Sims 3. Obviously, everyone likes what they like. But for me, like, if you like The Sims 4, and if you have the ability, I feel like every simmer needs to play The Sims 2. Like, you just do. Because The Sims 2 is, honestly, the core of The Sims 2 is, like, the best of all of the other games, if that makes sense. Like, it has bits and pieces, and it's fantastic. A South African inspired world would be really cool. Yeah, it would. I worry, like, a lot of people, some people have mentioned with, like, potentially getting, like, an African continent inspired world, that they're worried that the team would have to lean into the stereotypical, like, safari thing that everyone just thinks of, and they wouldn't be able to do it, like, with the nuance that it would require. Sims 2 had the best apartment system. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That is, like, fantastic. You're trying to find it. You started with The Sims 3 and want to play The Sims 2. Yeah, I know a couple of people that didn't play The Sims until The Sims 3 or even The Sims 4. And they just completely missed out on The Sims 2. And I feel like if you can and you can go back, definitely do. Even if you just do it once. Like it's worth the experience. I think it's a must that we get an African world at some point. Important that they collab with the right simmers. Yeah, exactly. See, that's the thing. And also, a lot of people have this, I don't know, I don't want to say this the wrong way, but a lot of people, I don't know, I feel like they all expect this, like, almost tribal, I don't know, theme when they think of an African inspired world. Like, this is going to sound very, like, bad, but I feel like some people have this stereotypical idea of, like, oh, it's Africa, everyone lives in, like, mud huts or something, and that's why they don't want it in The Sims, because how would you make that fun? But that's not what it's like. I mean, there's so much more. Even if you were just talking about South Africa, like, even just architecture wise, because that's the only thing that I'm really well versed in, is, like, I mean, even architecture wise, there's so many different things that they could do with a just South African inspired world. I'm not even talking about the other African countries. So it could be so cool. The Sims 2 lore is perfect. Yeah, the lore, especially in that game, and even some of the interactions and stuff like that, the gameplay is just unhinged, and it is the best thing. Especially if you mod it. If you can mod The Sims 2, some of the mods that you can put in that thing is top tier. Like, you couldn't play some of the later Sims 2 expansions on your laptop because of system requirements, so I could only play up to seasons. I watched the other expansions on YouTube videos. Yeah, no, that's fair. Like, when The Sims 2 came out, I played everything from The Sims 1. So I played all of The Sims 1. I played most of The Sims 2. I didn't actually own all of The Sims 2 packs when I was a kid. I only owned, from the expansion packs, I owned everything apart from Apartment Life. I never owned Apartment Life. And I only owned one of the stuff packs. Out of the, I think we had like 5 stuff packs. I only owned one of them. But a couple of years ago, I actually got the Ultimate Collection. So I had access to everything. And that, like, it's fantastic. I'm certain if we get hotels that are going to be in a game pack and not come with a world. The Sims team need to be respectful and not promote tourism to a culture. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, you know, the same thing. That's why people wanted hotels with island living. And I know a lot of people already pointed out that even without hotels, Sulani has a very, like, I don't know how to put this. Like, you're fine with hotels as a game pack. I just want the lot type. Yeah, exactly. Like, with hotels, like, being able to put it in any world is what's important. Like with restaurants. Being able to put restaurants in every world or any world is what's important. It's what makes them fun. But with Sulani, I know a lot of people already were saying that the Sims team, the way that that pack was done, like, not this way the Sims team did it, but the way a lot of Simmers took that pack and play with that pack is they play with it as if Sulani is only a vacation destination. It's not like there's actual people living there. It's an actual culture. It's, you know, it's not just a vacation spot, if that makes sense. It's why when I see people say hotels should have been island living, yeah, exactly, like, the culture that the world, the place that the world and the culture that it's based on is more than just, oh, it's this great island holiday spot. Like, it's more than that. So, yeah, Salvador was a huge stereotype. Exactly. It was a really fun pack. It's still a really fun pack. And I love playing with it. But the fact that A, it's not a livable world. It's literally just a destination world, which already is a big thing, because if you could live in the world, that would be one thing. That would be great, because then you could do the whole, like, cultural thing, like, pretend that it is a separate place, like, you know. But with it just being a destination world, it's like they're saying, oh, you know, this spot only exists as a vacation spot. No one actually lives there. It's for vacations, which sucks. Because if they were to ever bring back pack refreshes, I would love to see Jungle Adventure get a refresh. And, like, I know they probably won't, but seeing them, like, maybe expand the world a little bit, just add maybe like 5 more lots to it and make it a livable world. If that was the only thing that they did, like, if that was the only thing that they did refresh wise, I would be happy, because then you could actually lean into the whole cultural side of the pack rather than, you know, let's just go on vacation there. You're so glad they did away with the destination worlds. Same. So yeah, it was always so weird. Granite Falls could use a hotel, definitely. See, like, with the destination worlds, Granite Falls being a destination world, I'm okay with, because it's literally just like a small campsite type thing. It's not, it doesn't have a specific culture tied to it, or, you know, anything like that. It could be anywhere. And that's the thing with it, you could turn it into anywhere. You could turn it into a European styled place. You could turn it into an American styled area. Whatever you want to build, you know, style wise there, you can do that. So it's not tied to a culture like Jungle Adventure is. So that's fine to me. Like, with it being a destination world, it almost feels like an expansion of maybe like Glimmerbrook, or, you know, places like that. Like, it's supposed to just be a little, like, small on the outskirts of, you know, a bigger world type thing. But yeah, I'm glad they did away with the whole, like, destination world thing, because why? But yeah, going back to what I was showing you guys before I got very sidetracked, is this is my unfinished builds folder. Now, okay, yeah, so Okay, so I have 8 Sims 4 builds in here. And then a bunch of Sims 2 builds that I don't know what's happening there. And yikes. Wow. The wind is so strong right now outside. We just had a huge gust of wind. The lamppost outside is literally shaking. That's fun. Anyway. One pack that really needs a refresh is Island Living. Yeah. Yeah, so like from expansion packs, Island Living 100% needs a refresh. Because yeah, like it's so weird. Even Get to Work could use a refresh. With like aliens and mermaids and stuff, like if they could be expanded and given the same amount of detail as vampires and spellcasters and werewolves have, that would be amazing. You love the idea that hotels are just their own lot type in the world? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. They can give us like generic build buy items for hotels, like, you know, maybe like luggage carts and, you know, obviously check-in desks, maybe a like door that's specific to hotels, like, you know, we have the university doors. Do that. Give us that for hotels. Maybe give us some more like hotel room clutter type things, whatever. That's fine. And then just make it a lot type so we can place it anywhere we want. But yeah, so these builds, like this build for example, I started in June of 2022. Yeah, June 2022. This one is even older. This is from January, February, March of 2022. And this is actually the build, one of the builds, that I had my little mini breakdown about on Twitter the other day, where I freaked out and just like, screw it, because I was trying to find the save file that this build was started in. Because I went through and I made sure to upload all of these newer builds to my gallery. Not upload, but like save them to my library so that I could place them in my build save. Island Living, Jungle Adventure, Dine Out, Get to Work. Yeah, those are probably my top 4 like refresh packs as well. But yeah, so like this build was the one that I was looking for it so that I could make sure I placed it in the correct build save file because I really wanted to finish it. And let me just show you guys. This is really weird. But yeah, let me just show you. This is how old this build is. Like, I don't even think I was using reshade. No, I was. I was using reshade. But this was before I discovered MXAO and like the shadows, and when I was going through my very like vibrant era where everything was just incredibly saturated. And like, honestly, this is how old that build is. It's kind of like, it's almost a little bit, I don't know, cringy to look back on. Like, I love the build. I mean, I love the way it looks. I mean, look at that. Like, I love the way that looks. I really want to finish this thing, but I can't find it. Like, I physically cannot find the freaking thing. I looked everywhere. I went through every single save that I have, and it's nowhere. Like, it's nowhere. And I want to lose my mind, because that means I'm gonna have to go through, watch all of these clips that I have, and rebuild it. Because I want it. I really want this build, and I want to finish this build. And that, it pisses me off so much. So that one, and then this one. This one was the other one that I couldn't find. I found a version of it in one of my saves. So I found a version of it, like, basically thereabouts. Yeah, so just before I started furnishing. Yeah, so before I started furnishing and like picking the colors and all of that, I found a version that I have saved in my library. And I can't find this version. Like this one where I had started furnishing. It's supposed to be this is supposed to be like a field station, big-ish, almost fake hotel type thing in Salvadorada. Like fake hotel rental thing. And I can't find it. And I'm gonna have to rebuild it. How many old builds of yours do you have the urge to go back to and add in painted ceilings? None. None. I don't want to do that. None of them. I mean, I want to do that. It would make a lot of them look so much better. But I don't want to do that because I have so many builds. I have an obscene amount of builds. And I don't want to go through all of them. Like, I want to because I know it will make them look better. But I don't want to because I don't want to do all of that work. It's too much. I haven't even started going through my old save file builds and adding in painted ceilings. And honestly, I don't know if I will. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I might do it in like sessions. Even thinking about all of the builds you have. Yeah, exactly. Like it's this whole like when I think about it, my brain spirals and thinks about, oh crap, I have on the gallery, I think I have over 900 builds. And I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Like in my save file, there are a couple of builds, a couple of houses where I built fake tree houses for my Sims. And then we got growing together and we actually got tree houses. And I was thinking, you know, maybe I should go through and like update them, put in the real tree houses. And then I decided, you know what? No, I'm not doing it. Like I'm not. I'm not. If you download the build and you want a real tree house, you can put it in. Because I'm not doing it. I'm not. Apart from the obvious spiral stairs, as a builder, is there any other things in build mode you'd like? Okay, so like build mode. Okay, so stairs, but yeah, obviously spiral stairs, but diagonal stairs. I would love diagonal stairs, like really, just the ability to place them on the diagonal. Like, I don't need new staircases, just give me the ability to place them on a diagonal. And yeah, garage doors. I would love garage doors. I would love cars. If I'm being honest, I'm one of the people, I would like cars. And I don't agree with the whole like, but The Sims 4 isn't open world, so what's the point argument? Because again, Sims 2 wasn't open world. You couldn't even go like off of your own lot. I mean, you could travel, but you couldn't like walk around like you can in The Sims 4 in like the neighborhoods. And they had cars. They did cars really well. Even better than The Sims 3 did, if I'm being honest. Because The Sims 3, the only thing you could do in a car was drive places and teach teenagers how to drive. That's it. In The Sims 2, you could sit in the car. You could actually interact with it. You didn't just like walk to the lot and then magically spawn a car. You actually had to walk to your car, get into it, and drive it out of the driveway. So you could do that. You could sit in your cars. You could woohoo in your cars. I want cars in The Sims 4. You think there's a difference there? Sims 2 lots were mostly all attached to roads. Yeah, so yeah. That's the thing. If they did give us cars, how would that work? Like, I don't know. I still feel like personally I wouldn't mind that. Like, I mean, what would you, for example, if you lived in a place like Brindleton Bay and you lived on one of the like beach lots where you don't have road access, what would you in real life do with your car? Like, if, yeah, I mean, if you had to pick between open neighborhoods and cars, you think you'd pick open neighborhoods? Yeah, I mean, we have our neighborhoods. I don't think they will ever change the Sims 4 neighborhoods. Like, they won't. At this point in the game, they won't, just because of the base coding of the Sims 4 and the fact that it was created almost 10, probably more than 10 years ago, because it was in development for a while before it actually came out. I think the base that the game is built on, they can't go in and change something like that. Like having open neighborhoods. They can't do that. I don't think they can. Like, I don't think it's a plausible thing. Like, I physically don't think the game is built for it. But adding in cars and then just saying, okay, so yeah, you would settle for cars that you could do things in, like music, woohoo, read. Yeah, maybe in fixer-uppers. There's a lot you could do with car gameplay that doesn't revolve around open worlds. Because in The Sims 4, you can still, like, access quite a nice-sized neighborhood, even if it's not open world, if that makes sense. Cars won't really work in The Sims 4. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, with the worlds, with the lots. Yeah, I mean, personally, from a builder standpoint, I don't care about that. Like, I don't care if a lot isn't connected to a road, if it, like, it wouldn't make sense to have a car there. I don't care about that, because in my head, I just go like, okay, fine. Then I just won't build a house there that has a driveway. I won't do it. But for the other lots that do have driveways and do have road access, I want to build a driveway. I want to build a proper driveway with a real car. So, like, in my head, I'm just like, okay, for the lots where it doesn't make sense, I won't use it. But for the lots where it does make sense, I want it. You know? Yeah, they were, yeah. Yeah, dreaming is allowed, definitely. Definitely. More hopeful about Rene? Yeah, exactly. Because it's built on a custom engine? Yeah. Exactly, yeah. So that's the thing, like, I honestly, I don't know what engine The Sims 4 is built on. If it is built on a custom one, or, you know, something like, you know, with Project Rene. But, yeah, I know for a fact the team has said that because of the limitations of working with tech and code from, like, 9-10 plus years ago, there's only so much they can do with it. There's only so much that they can reasonably do and fix of the old stuff without completely taking it apart. And that's something that they can't do because the game is, like, it's done, it's out. There's some things that they can't just go in and take apart. So, yeah. I mean, Project Rene is a whole thing, like, I don't know about Project Rene. Yeah, so these are the ones that I still need to finish. And then these builds are these 5 that I have highlighted, are Sims 4 builds that are finished, that I need to edit. But I have a lot of footage for them. And I don't want to go through the effort. Not the effort, but it's a lot of work. Like this build, for example, you guys are getting a little sneak peek. Sneak peek, wow. Words, apparently. But yeah, this build. I really want to get this out next week before the new stuff pack comes out. But I have almost 5 hours of footage. These clips are almost 5 hours. So I have a lot of editing to do, and that is a pain. Like, I hate editing. It's the bane of my existence. And this is another one that I did. These are all save file builds, by the way. These 3 are all 3 save file builds, and this one is another one of those builds where I finished it in June. I literally finished it in June. And I haven't posted it yet. So that's great. But yeah. So we are currently in the game. And there is a reason for that I will get to. But yeah. So let me just catch up on chat. I also don't... It looks amazing. Thank you. I also don't think Rene is Sims 5. Speaking in the last Behind the Sims, to me it sounds like Rene is going to be a companion game. Separate experience for those who want to play with friends, but also alone if they wish. Excited for future builds, thanks. But yeah, so that is interesting. I haven't thought about it like that. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind it if it was Sims 5. Because they said that it will be running alongside The Sims 4. But now that you mention it, that does make sense. Because they've never had a new Sims game running alongside the older one. So, if it was just a companion game, it would make more sense. But that's actually really interesting. So yeah, I mean, I had this conversation with, who was it? I think it was with my sister the other day, where we were talking about like, or I was kind of like talking at her, not to her, but like at her, about the Sims, like Project Rene, like the whole multiplayer thing and cross-platform thing, and like, yikes. I feel like if it was Sims 5, they would want to put all their focus on a main title. Yeah, I mean, they did mention that the 2 games were going to be running side by side. They said that they were going to be running, like, together. So, that makes sense. Going through footage is so the least fun part of making videos. Yeah. No company would release a main title game and shift the focus too much. Seems too distracting to me, if that makes sense. Yeah, it does. I mean, I didn't think about it like that before. Like, it didn't occur to me like that. But it makes sense. I mean, if this was going to fall under their main Sims title, like The Sims 4, The Sims 3, having The Sims 5 would... I don't know, I feel like... Yeah, I mean, it would... They would want to put their focus all on The Sims 5 and not still be releasing stuff for The Sims 4. On the other hand, though, I feel like with The Sims, with Project Rene, like, it's almost like they accept the fact that it's not going to appeal to a large portion of their current base. Because I know a lot of players that have played the older Sims games, that play The Sims 4, they aren't excited about Project Rene because it's so different from the other ones, and it's so different from the usual Sims, I guess you could say, recipe, if that makes sense. So I feel like it's almost as if they accept that fact and they're going, okay, so yes, here's The Sims 4 that everyone already knows and plays. We're still going to focus on it because it has its own... It appeals to our older player base. If not older, but like our already established player base. And then Project Rene is like, okay, but we want to like do all of this other stuff and like focus on the younger players, like the younger generation, and make something that will draw them into the franchise as well. If that makes sense. I don't know. Either way, I have a lot of thoughts on Project Rene, and I don't think my voice currently has the capacity to properly go into all of that, because my voice is crapping out on me, I swear. All we can be hopeful for is that the Sims team are hard at work, are making Sims 4 more optimized and stable. We're 9 years into it now and it's unstable. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, I mean, yeah. I was going to say that it's not unstable, but it is. I would be lying if I said it wasn't. It's just personally, I don't really have any issues with The Sims 4. Like, optimization wise, I have some issues with like lag and all of that stuff. But that's more of a my PC setup issue rather than the game, I think. Because, or at least I don't know if it's a me issue versus a game issue, because my computer isn't like the top of the line. It's not top of the line or anything like that, so it could just be my computer. And the fact that I go overboard with my builds, so my save files are gigantic. But yeah, I mean, it is unstable. Like, it is. Like, right now, for example, I'm in my actual save. Like, I'm in my actual save file. And as you can see, it's not bad. But it's not as smooth as, for example, it is when I'm in my building save, where I build in a blank save file, so there's not a lot of like lots everywhere and stuff like that, so I don't have that issue. I love The Sims when it's playable, but there's so many things that are unstable. Yeah. Yeah, so see, that's the thing. Like, the random frame drops, stuff like that. I have noticed that. I have noticed it. And I do currently have mods in my game. Like, I can't remember the name of the mods. But I do stuff to it that stops that from happening. I have lag issues as well. I have like 5 saves, but I have a motherload of CC. Yeah, see, it varies by save file for me, the lag. Like, for example, I'm currently in my actual save file. Like, the one that I'm putting stuff in to release the save file. I'm in that one. But for example, if I were to go into my building save file, the lag is a lot less. It's basically not even there. Unless I'm working on like a really big lot. Like, why is it a game from 2014? Yeah, see, I don't even have a graphics card like that. I'm still running a 970, a GTX 970. And, like, I don't have any issues with the game. Like, it doesn't crash. It, you know, stuff like that. It doesn't do that. But I do have to do stuff to it to work on the FPS thing. I use Sim4Sims' graphics overhaul mod. It's not a mod. It's not a mod. It's basically, they went in and they tweaked some of the files. And basically you download that, you replace your graphics files. And for me, if I take that out, if I remove that, or if I like write over those files or whatever, or if, for example, sometimes when the game updates, I just need to like put those files in again, for example, if that makes sense. And if I don't do that and I open up my game, I will immediately notice the difference. Like, I'll immediately notice the difference in my FPS because it will run like absolute crap. And then I'll exit the game, put those files back in, and then suddenly my FPS is like 20 times better. Yeah, see, exactly. Yeah, like, but why do we need to do that? Yeah. Like, it's one thing for me to, like, say, oh, but I have a heavily modded Sims 2 game to make it run as best as it can and do all of that stuff to it. But that's a Sims 2. It was released in 2004. Like, you would expect to have to, like, work some magic on it to get it to run on a modern system because it wasn't built for a modern system. Yeah. Yeah, no. So, yeah, I love the game. It's literally like, it's changed my life, this game. And I love it. But yikes, there's definitely some things that need fixing. Oh. You see, stuff like that, I've never done that. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I use a reshade that adds extra shadows. So, like, this isn't bad. But if I'm playing my current household, say, for example, I have some custom content in that. It's not bad, actually. I do have some lag, but mostly just with, like, simulation lag, like the Sims, like, taking forever to decide to do stuff. But that's also because that one's a lot more modded. Hi, Lisa! Welcome in, how are you? How are you? How has your weekend been so far? Yeah. Reflections and shadows. Yeah. No, I know reflections, shadows. But then there's part of me that just goes like, you know, you see this. Okay, so this is very depressing because it's raining. So, you're good, thanks. Hope you're well. Yeah, I'm good. I'm okay. I'm in a mood, but it's a very, like, chaotic mood, almost. But yeah, so, for example, this is with my reshade on. And this might not be the best comparison because it's gloomy and rainy. But if I turn reshade off, this is the vanilla game. Like, obviously I don't have my edge smoothing on right now. But this is the vanilla game. And to me, this is depressing. Like, I accidentally turned it off the other day when I was building. And I just sat here and I was like, I looked at my build and I went like, oh crap. That looks so much worse. Because I build with my reshade on, so obviously I build stuff to look good with my reshade. So turning it off was an absolute, like, it wasn't a good experience. This looks so much better. I'm gonna leave that on. Something that annoys me is when the Sims team implements something, curved walls, and doesn't work as intended, and they drop it, never to be seen again. Yeah. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, I love The Sims 4. I would love it if they went 10 more years with this game, because it means that we won't have to start from scratch again with a new game. And because I've already invested so many hours and so much money into this game. So I would love that. But if they do that, they need to work on A, optimizing it, and B, going back to features and actually fixing them. Like, platforms. We've had platforms since Snowy Escape came out. And Snowy Escape came out in... what? 2019? No. 2020? 2020, I think. Whatever. But since we've had platforms since Snowy Escape came out. And they're still buggy. Like, they still have bugs that's been in the game since they came out. I would die for some base game windows that curve. Yeah. See, stuff like that. I mean, like, why give us a feature and then A, have it be buggy as hell, and B, then just ignore it like it never happened? I think I only used curved wall twice, and every time I use them, I want to rip my Yeah. Yeah. I think I can count on one hand the amount of times I've used them. No. I still prefer just, if I want to make a turret or something, I'll just do it in the old way of, like, using an octagon or something. Yeah. Yeah, no, I have a lot to rip out, so, like, I'm good. But yeah, so the reason I'm just loaded into this lot for no reason is I'm not going to rebuild it, but I basically, the premise of this stream, I've been going for like an hour and a half already, and I've just sat here talking, which is fun. I've never done this before, but the whole reason is for the stream is I wanted to do a just talking, catching up thing, but also I want to give you guys a little bit of a behind the scenes look into what goes into my save. And yeah, I do need to, like, do something because my throat is killing me. I tried using them with making a back porch one time and the curved wall just reverted. Yeah. Yeah, see, if they worked properly with staircases, it would be another thing. Oh, I'm so organized. Well, thank you. For one, thank you. I don't feel very well organized. This is going to be a very chaotic stream. It's going to make for an interesting VOD afterwards. But this is the kind of stuff that I never show people. So this is, you're so happy with the painted ceilings, but they're not all that buggy. That's really nice. I mean, they're buggy if you have a platform in a build, but that's a platform glitch, not a painted ceilings glitch. So, and also, I was very happy. I can't tell you guys, like, obviously, when I built for the horses, for the horse ranch pack, we were the first ones to know about the painted ceilings. And I was sitting on that, and I was sitting on that information for months. Such good organization. Yeah, no, trust me, I need this. If I didn't have this, this save file would not be happening. Like, it would not exist. You and Shani with your with your sheets? Yeah. Yeah. I literally learned how to do the most basic of spreadsheet things. Like, I'm not using Excel, but I literally learned how to do the most basic things with spreadsheets for this very reason. Yes, I'm still so proud of you and your horse ranch. Oh, thank you. Those builds to this day, they are some of my favorites I've ever done. But because of that, I haven't really wanted to go in and start working on I almost said Copperdale, on Chestnut Ridge for my save, because I spent months looking at that world and I'm just like, oh lord, I don't want to build there right now. I don't want to build a ranch. I don't want to look at another ranch. Like, no. But yeah, so this is my spreadsheet of just all of the things. So I have a sheet for every single world, and some of them are more filled in than others, because when I started my save, I didn't have this, and I don't know when I decided I needed it, but basically I did stuff for my save file, and then afterwards decided that I needed to keep track of it all, because before I had this, I was keeping track of everything. Let me just show you. I have a book, and I don't know how well you guys can see that. Probably not all that well. But I have a save file book. It's actually weird to think that right now there must be simmers. Yeah, exactly! I am so jealous, because... Not jealous, but I'm curious. I'm really curious. But yeah, so before I had this spreadsheet, okay? Let me just show you. This isn't going to show up because my lights are too bright and it's not going to focus. And this is done in pencil. So I have pages, like empty pages. Not empty, but blank pages. That I literally went in and drew out all of the worlds. Okay, not all of the worlds. The only question is, who are these new builders? Yeah, exactly. I'm really curious about that, because I love knowing that. I love when they use builders and simmers that aren't the typical mainstream simmers, for example. Like, when they use creators that, like, it's a new experience for them. It's a experience that they never thought they would get, and, you know, being able to do that. Like, for me, I never thought I would get that that opportunity, and, like, being able to do it still was incredible. But yeah, so these are all maps that I have with... I didn't draw out the worlds, but I basically drew out all of the lots. Like, all of the lot size. I drew all of them out, put the lot sizes on them, all of that stuff, so that I could tick them off when I had finished building them. And I still do this. I still need this because I don't want to go in every time I start a new build for my save. I don't want to go in and have to load up my save file to see what I have done, what I haven't done, and then try to remember what I was planning for a lot, if that makes sense. So, because I don't build new builds in my save. I build them in a separate save, and then I put them in there when I'm done. So having this is nice because I can go in and I can look at it and I can see, oh, so I was thinking this would be a bar. So then I remember, okay, I need to make this a bar. So I don't accidentally put something else there, for example. And it's just, I'm a very visual person. So I like being able to see what I'm doing, like organization-wise. I need to see it. And if I can hold it in my hand, even better. So I have those maps. And then I also, I'm going to show you guys this, but I hope this doesn't come across as wrong. But I really do hope that if it is a Southeast Asian world, they have awesome simmers who live in that culture. Yeah, no, it does. It makes sense. Because, like, with Copperdale, for example, not Copperdale. I have Copperdale on the brain because I just finished a build in Copperdale. But with Chestnut Ridge, for example, it was a very not western, but like Wild West almost, like, you know, those types of vibes. So you don't really need someone that lives there to build it, if that makes sense. Because none of us were even like of the four of us, because it was obviously me, Simproved, Ninster, and Dr. Ashley. None of us are American. Like, none of us. Ninster is, honestly, I keep getting it wrong, but I know she's from Europe, from one of the Scandinavian countries, and I'm sorry about this, but I think she's from the Netherlands. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. But I know Simproved is German, and then Dr. Ashley is Canadian. So none of us were even American, and we were building for an American world. But for stuff like Snowy Escape was a very different world from anything that we had at that point. And it was a very culture-heavy world. A very culture-inspired... It was... The builds needed to match a culture specifically. Whereas for Chestnut Ridge, it was more of just a, look at these couple of different states in the US that fits the vibe kind of thing. It's not culture specific. So, yeah, I know what you mean. Like, having people that have actual first-hand experience with a culture like that, when the culture has such a big influence on the design and the architecture, is important. So, yeah. No, I know what you mean. It didn't come across wrong. I know what you mean. But yeah, so before I had my spreadsheet, like, no offense. Yeah. Yeah, it was on the Sims team. But yeah, so like, I did this before I had my spreadsheet. I did this where I literally wrote out all of the families. I have different like sections in here for like Willow Creek and Windenburg and etc, every world. And I did your previous comment come through? The one about, like, no offense to that simmer, but that was on the Sims team. Oh crap! I missed your comment before that. That is why I was confused. Sorry. I recall when Simmers build for Snowy Escape, there was zero Japanese Simmers building the lots, and one of the Simmers said in their videos that they had no clue on the culture, and you could tell. Yeah, I know. I know what you mean. That is also what I was thinking about in my head when I was, saying that culture-wise, that culture has an effect has an influence on the architecture. I have been trying to make a base save for myself with new builds or renovations / updates of EA houses and new Sims, and it's just a mess right now. I need to sort that out before I keep working on it. Yeah, see, that was one of my biggest things, and that is why this is taking me so bloody long. Is because a lot of this stuff, like a lot of this organizational stuff, it's things that I need to go back in and add. So I started the save file so long ago that I had a lot of... All of you who are making saves are so amazing. Yeah, no, it's a lot of work. It is so much work. But yeah, so like a lot of this stuff, and even a lot of the families and stuff like that, I did years ago. And I didn't keep track of any of it. Like, I mean, I kept track of their names and their ages. That's it. And what world they were in. But I needed to know stuff like their relationship status and their traits and, like, their jobs and all of that stuff and who they were dating and best friends and all of that stuff. And I didn't have that anywhere. So I needed to go back in and go back through all of the Sims that I had already created, set up all of that stuff, make notes of all of that stuff, and it's a pain. It's an absolute pain in the ass. To be completely blunt. Because it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Like, I actually started planning for a save file I wanted to make, all from when I started the Simland thing when following another Plombob Legacy challenge. Yeah, see, stuff like that. That is why I never do Legacy challenges. Like, I never do Legacy challenges for that exact reason. Also, I have a too much gene where I go overboard. As if I am physically incapable of not going overboard. Like stuff like this. I mean, do I need to go through my save and make sure everyone has a best friend? Or at least have a reason for why they don't have a best friend? Or make sure that absolutely everyone has likes, dislikes. I still need to go through, by the way, and add in the decor, clothing, all of that stuff. I still haven't added that to the spreadsheet. I just have color, activities, and music on here. But, like, it's insane. It's so much work. Yeah. No, it's a lot of work. But if I could give you any advice, like, if you're planning on setting up stuff like this, like setting up skills and careers and like degrees and all of that stuff, do it from the get-go. Like, commit to it from the start, because making a sim or making a world and then deciding that you want to add that stuff, it's a nightmare. So if you want to do that, commit from the start. That's my limit. I think if I made a save file, forget about my sims having best friends outside of their household. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I am going through so much. I think I'm making this harder on myself than I need to. But I've given my sims. I have gone through all of them. Not all of them, but, you know, as I go through them. I update their ages. Like, I keep up to date. I have aging turned off, obviously. But setup-wise, I cheat their ages to give them certain ages. I make sure that I obviously give them all of their pronouns, and if they need to be in relationships, etc. And then I also go through, I give them lifestyles. I give them obviously careers and jobs. I give them degrees if I think they would have one, and I make sure that it kind of matches with their job for realism. And like, if they're kids or teenagers, sometimes I'll put them in clubs. And then I go through, I give them skills, I give them obviously their likes, dislikes. And then I make clubs. So some of my sims are obviously in clubs. I keep track of their romantic partners. So if they're married, if they have this RI is for romantic interest. So they're not technically dating, like boyfriend, like they don't have that specific status. They're just like romantic interests. Obviously, if they have a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, I do that as well. Then I go and I give them best friends. Now that is a big pain, because the sims don't tell you if they have one. So if you accidentally try and give one sim a best friend and that other sim already has one, they'll just stop being best friends and the game won't tell you about it. So whenever I add a new sim to my save and go through for the best friends, I need to like search for names to make sure that I'm not going to be removing anyone. I think it would be so amazing though if you can micromanage from the world menu. Yes, that would help so much. Imagine being able to click on a sim in your world and then you can set up outside relationships from there. Yeah. Yep. That is why I set up my save. I know I mentioned this in my save overview, but you don't need MC Command Center to download my save file. Like, you don't need to have it to play with it, with the save. I just use it for setup, because there is no way in hell I am going through and playing these sims to set up all of these relationships and all of these skills and degrees. I'm not doing that, like, ever. So being able to do that with MC Command Center and UI cheats, so helpful, like so helpful. Differentiate the words there and there. Yeah, no, that it would make things so much easier. So much easier. But yeah, so for example, like, this is... I'm even doing stuff like this, where with Moonwood Mole, for example, I have all of the Sims that are going to be living in that world. I have all of them created and on their lots. All of their lots aren't built yet, but the Sims are there. Because, for example, then I go through and I make up lore for my Sims. Like, supernatural lore for the occults. So, for example, in Moonwood Mole, we have the Argent family. And they're technically the Crescent Pack. In my head, they're called the Crescent Pack. And I actually created a club called the Crescent Pack, which is like their family. And then another couple of Sims, another couple of werewolves that are technically part of their pack. I created that because I need to do that. So in my head, you know, this pack is matriarchal. So, you know, the mom is the leader of the pack, not the dad. And their daughter, even though they're twins, the two teenagers, they're twins. So even though the daughter is technically a little bit younger than her twin brother, she's the heir to the pack because they're matriarchal. This might sound morbid, but we need a proper cemetery lot. Yep. Where we can have our deceased Sims that pass away. Yeah, we definitely need that. Because I have so many Sims that are dead. Like, for like the setup for my save file, I will go in and I will create their dead spouses or parents or grandparents. I will create them, I'll unalive them, and then I'll just sit there with their urns in my Sims' inventories. And that's all I do with them. Because I want them in the family trees. So having a cemetery would be great. But yeah, so with this pack, like, they're matriarchal. So I set up all of that stuff. And then in my head, Roslyn, who's the mom, she used to be the leader of the werewolf council. And yes, I have councils for the occults in my save. Then we have, so they are living on a lot. But then we have this family, the Blanchett family, who isn't on a lot. They're just like in the lot bin because I needed more werewolves in my save, and they're part of the Crescent Pack. But we have 3 siblings. We have a young adult and 2 teenagers. Their parents are gone, and they were basically raised by the Argent family. And then we have another pack, the Sorensen pack, who has, they're patriarchal. So, you know, the dad is the leader of the pack. Their oldest son is taking over, you know, that way. And this Sim, Arne, is obviously the leader of the pack, but he's now the leader of the High Council. Because Roslyn decided to step down because she didn't want to, like, deal with all of the drama. And we have 2 more members of the Sorensen pack who aren't in the world, 2 siblings. Then we have the, like, foster home, like the werewolf foster home, where we have, like, 2 older Sims, 2 older werewolves, like, they're adults and elders. They are on the council, but they don't have their own pack. They're just part of the council. And then they're raising a bunch of younger, like, adopted foster werewolf children. And then obviously we have Celine, because she ties into one of my other families. But then I have stuff like this where I literally make notes of this sim, Kendra, the mom in the Sorensen pack. She had an affair with Deverell Blanchett, who's now gone. And they had Rune together, who's the youngest child in that household. And no one knows about that, apart from her. So, yeah, it's like, I go too in-depth with this stuff. Like, honestly, trying to explain. You see this and you're like, yeah. Like, trying to explain my occult setup in my save file could probably be a 2-hour stream on its own. Because the stuff that goes on in my brain is just, it's honestly, I wish I could, like, I don't know. It's one of those things where people hear all of this stuff and they tell me I should write a book or something. And I would love to do that. I have all of the ideas in my head to do that. But I can't put it out in words. So am I, honestly? But yeah, so like, the vampires also have a council, obviously, because of course they do. And we have Vlad. I gave Vlad a family, by the way. So, I don't know if you guys have watched my save file overview, but I gave Vlad a family. He has a sister, Vasilisa, and he has a wife, and 3 kids. So, he has a family. And he's on the Vampire High Council, but he's not the leader. The leader is actually Clarissa, and I'm going to show you guys this because I need to. I need to show you this. Oh, by the way, I love this loading screen. But yeah, I'm going to show you guys this because I did way too much. Way too much. So, they also tie together. So, Clarissa has a brother, Helia, but she also has a daughter, Elena. And Helia and Clarissa, they're vampires. That's why I have this life state block. Because as you can see with this family, a lot of them are vampires, but some of them are spellcasters as well. So in my save, the vampires and the spellcasters actually, I don't want to say they work together, but they cohabitate. And they're okay with each other. But the vampires and the werewolves obviously are not, because of course I had to do that. So this is who I'm talking about. This family. So that is Clarissa. Let me see if I can... This isn't really a better view of them, if it will load. What am I doing? But yeah, so this is Clarissa Dawn. She is the leader of the High Council of Vampires. And she has a daughter, Elena. Then she also has a brother, Helia, Hemlock Dawn. Because I hyphenated his name because he's married to Rylan Hemlock Dawn. And these are all of their kids. Now, the reason I hyphenated his name is because Rylan is actually the oldest daughter of the Hemlock family. So they're spellcasters. They are one of the oldest spellcaster families in Glimmerbrook. And this is her mother, by the way. This is Celine. She is on the High Council, the Spellcasters High Council. This is her brother, Marcellus, and his wife, and all of their many, many, many children. But because Rylan is from such a prestigious spellcaster family, they hyphenated their name. And it's stuff like that. Like, I don't need to go into that much detail, but I am. Then we have, I need to show you guys this. Then we have the Valentine family. And this family is one of my favorite families ever. And I have a current household that I play. I don't play with this family, but my sim is married to their oldest son. So they're kind of like in-laws to my sims. And we have Lucian. He's a vampire. He is a very, very old vampire. And in my head, he's like him, Lucian, Vlad, who obviously, by the way, this is Vlad and his family. But Lucian, Vlad, and Clarissa are very similar in age. So they're all one of the like first vampires. They're like, in my head, we have like vampire bloodlines. And think if you've ever seen originals of Vampire Diaries, you know what I'm talking about. But you have like vampire bloodlines, and those three are like the oldest bloodlines. Now, Lucian has a daughter, Briar, and she's a vampire as well, but her mother is unalived like a century and a half ago. And it was always just her and her dad. They're very close. And then he met Aurelia. Now, Aurelia is an alien, as you guys can see. She's an alien. They got married and had their 4 kids. Now, we have 2 sets of twins in this household, actually. So, we have Ezekiel and Evangeline. Ezekiel is an alien. Evangeline is a vampire, because parents, vampire, alien. Then we have Agistea and Abel, again, alien, vampire. Same thing with the Dawn family, by the way, the Hemlock Dawns, because Helia is a vampire, but Rylan is a spellcaster. So their kids, like their oldest kids, they're like more twins, but we have Antoinette and Azazel, they're vampires, and then the younger kids are spellcasters. So we have Virgil and Rowena. They're spellcasters. I also did this with their hair colors. You're loving this? Yeah, as you can tell, I don't know how interesting this is to you guys, because I don't know. I love watching stuff like this where someone just geeks out about something that they're passionate about. So yeah, because I haven't really talked about this. Like, I haven't talked about this with anyone online. I've talked about it with like my mom. Like, she was the one that kind of had to listen to all of this stuff when I was coming up with it. But I haven't really shared any of this in videos. You're so astonished. Yeah. And that's the thing, like, I can't really put this in my save, because how do you portray this? Like, how do you portray all of these lore backstories in The Sims? Like, you can't. So I really need to make a like occult video at some point, where hopefully I would be able to talk about all of this stuff and explain it a little bit less rambly. You love the backstories? Thank you. That's my favorite part about doing this stuff, is coming up with the backstories. Stuff like this I can find really inspiring. Yeah, that's me too. Like, I love hearing other simmers' backstories and their reasons for doing what they do. It's great. The backstories are awesome. Thank you, Lisa. I don't know if you've like played with my save. I know you're one of my channel members, and I believe you have access to the work in progress version of my save. Not the one that's public, but the one that's like still a work in progress. So yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think about it. But yeah, so with this family, as you guys can see, like, these vampires, they have you haven't figured out how to add the save file yet, but you want to check it out, I can actually show you guys that. I'll show you guys that in just a second, because I've gotten a few questions about that, and I know not everyone knows how to add save files. So I can actually show you that in just a second. But yeah, so like with these vampires, they have this very, like, not like shocking almost features. I wanted them to look very otherworldly almost. So this vampire bloodline, the Dawn bloodline, they all have this very white blonde hair and these like ice blue eyes. So that's kind of like a hallmark or a trademark or whatever characteristic of their bloodline. So their vampire kids have that hair color, but they actually have their mom's eye color because, you know, they're technically somewhere in their part spellcasters. So they're not like pure blood vampires, if that makes sense. So they have the white hair color, but not the eyes. And then because these two kids are like almost toddlers, because they're spellcasters, they don't have that. They look more like their mom because they're spellcasters. So it's stuff like that where I kind of like, I went way more in depth with it than I needed to. And like with like Vlad's family, Vlad and his sister Vasilisa, they both have that like gray hair color, and they're not old, but they just have that. Yeah, I made Vlad a family. I needed to. I needed to. And I really played into the very stereotypical idea of a like 15th century lord or whatever, because that's what I imagined Vlad would have been. Like, he's very old. So yeah, he was all by his lonesome. Exactly. He needed a family. And I wanted to portray this idea of like, even his wife Elvira, this is his wife, by the way, even she's also old. She's not as old as him and his sister are, but, you know, she's also old. And they come from a time, like, in my head, like 1400s, 1500s, where he is very set in his, like, crappy ways. Like, very, like, think stereotypical old world, like, I don't know how to put this. Like, he's very much like classic vampire, but also classic, like, women are only meant to do this, or, you know, the only person that can inherit anything are the sons, you know, that old, like, oldness. So I wanted to make that apparent in their family. So he has his sister, but his sister is like the opposite of him. She's kind of adapted to the modern world of like being her own person, if that makes sense. Like, she's her own person. She's not like him at all. And then his wife is that very like Stepford wife. She loves her children. Yeah, old-fashioned, traditional, like, yeah, like, very much. Like, in my head, like, think Henry VIII, in the sense of, I need to have a boy, like, all of those, like, yikes-ness. Yeah, yeah. I've been watching a lot of history related YouTube channels recently. That is why that popped into my head. But yeah, so his wife is very like Stepford wife. Yeah, Henry VIII. Yeah. Yeah. Yikes. Sorry, I just heard the wind and I was like, oh my word. But yeah, so his wife is very much like, she doesn't like the way that he is, but she also won't bring it up, if that makes sense. She's not going to like stand up to him in that way, where she's going to tell him, oh, don't be such an ass to other people, or don't be such an ass to your children. Like, care a little bit more about your daughters as well, not just your son. That kind of stuff. But then we have Lenore, who is, I believe, yeah, she is younger technically. Yeah, won't do anything to upset him. No, she won't. She won't. She'll try and make it up to the kids, but she won't do anything to upset him. Because he might go on a like murderous rampage or something through the town. But then we have his son, Vladimir, who is obviously, you know, his heir. Because he is the oldest, he's the boy. Yakety yakety yak. And he tries to live up to his father's like expectation of him. And what his dad wants him to be. And he tries to be the vampire that his father wants him to be. You know, Lenore, his sister. I just have the family. Yeah, I don't have their family yet. I don't have their house yet, just the family. I started building a house for them years ago. And then gave up on it. It's one of those things where I have a picture in my head and I can't figure out how to make it work, and then I get overwhelmed and I give up. So, unfortunately, that happens. A lot. But yeah, so then we have Lenore, who's the second child. She just wants to find love and get out of this family. Like, she just... she does not get along with her father at all. Know the feeling? Yeah. And then we have their youngest, Lucretia. So, the thing with Vladimir is... I call him Vlad because I didn't think he would go by his full name. I did a similar thing when I created some aliens for one of my gameplay saves a few weeks ago. They're all in the club and the family that has yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I did that with my aliens as well. Like, I go into way too much depth with all of the occults. As you can tell, I prefer going into detail with their backstories more so than my regular Sims. Vladdy not daddy. Yeah. Yeah, no. I did give Vlad a makeover. He looks a little bit better. I don't know why he's in his dark form in this picture. Yeah, you love the details? Me too. I'm glad people like appreciate that. But yeah, so with Vlad, he tries to live up to his dad's expectation. Tries to be, you know, the perfect son, the perfect, you know, all of that stuff. And in my save, he is dating another vampire. So his dad is like, that is one of those people where his vampire son can only date other vampires. Because he needs to carry on the bloodline. And he can't date like riff-raff vampires. Yes, corner save whip. That is the one. I'll show you how to put it in your game in just a moment, because yeah, I'll definitely show you how to do that. But yeah, so Vlad, the teenager, is dating... Where is... He is dating... Yeah, Antoinette, sorry. I needed to check my spreadsheet of much information. So, he's best friends with Antoinette. Because she is, again, from an old bloodline. She's a vampire. You know, all of that stuff. They're best friends. And he is dating her. But he's only dating her to make his dad happy. And that is because he actually has a little bit of a crush thing going on with one of the Argent teenagers, Loic, with their son. He is actually in kind of is not. They're not really in a relationship because, yeah, they kind of think like enemies to lovers almost. Think enemies to lovers because Loik is a werewolf. He is one of the like oldest, like from the oldest families, werewolves. So yeah, not exactly a match made in heaven, if that makes sense. So stuff like that. And then like Vasilisa, classic trope, exactly. I needed to do that. I could not look at it and go, you know what, I'm not gonna do that. Why not? I mean, why not? It's literally one of the first things I did when we got werewolves, is set that up. But yeah, so Vasilisa is dating one of these modern vampires. And I say modern in the sense that, yes, they're a couple of centuries old, but they very much, like, adapted to the modern world. So, no, she's actually dating Philip Sutton. He's a celebrity. He's like an actor. And he's a vampire, but he's an actor. So he's very much, like, modern. I guess you could say. So, yeah, you see, it's stuff like that. I go way too all out with just this lore. Honestly, I sometimes, like, it's baffling to me sometimes how much detail I put into this. Like, for example, let me just show you guys. So, club-wise, obviously we have the Vampire High Council. Clarissa is the leader. These are all of the members, okay? Then we have the Spellcasters High Council, who has Anthony Lovell is the head of the council, and this is Anthony. So, this is Anthony. The Lovells and the Hemlocks are one of the oldest bloodlines. So, they're the older spellcaster bloodlines. So Anthony is the leader, but Morgan, Alphaba, and Simeon, like the sages, are in the club as well because that makes sense. And then the other members are Cedric Downsong, who is this sim. I still need to make their house. But where's Cedric? Cedric Downsong, this sim. He is one of the other members. We have Marcellus, these are basically the heads of the households. Like, they're the heads of their bloodlines, if that makes sense. Like, they have their old bloodlines, and these are the heads of those households. So they're all in, like, this club. They're responsible for making the decisions. And the spellcasters in my head, well, look at that spreadsheet, yeah. And in my head, the spellcasters, they're responsible for keeping the supernatural world a secret from the normal sims. They're responsible for keeping the peace between the werewolves and vampires, especially. So, yeah. And then we have the abbots with Alexander and Cora, and they aren't from the old bloodlines, but for some reason, like the others don't know why, but they're very powerful. Like, they both grew up in the foster system, so they don't know who their family was. So they're obscenely powerful. So they're part of the council because the council recognized that and went like, oh, let's just include them to make sure that, you know, we can keep an eye on them. But yeah, then we have the Werewolf High Council. We have the Royal Mer family, because I have a Royal Mermaid family in my game. Why not? And then I'm going to have an Alien High Council. I need to make more aliens for it. I have a couple, but I need to make more. We have the Crescent Pack. We have the Sorensen Pack. Then we have stuff like the Wolven. They're all of the, like, teenage werewolves. They're all in this club. And I did that because I figured, you know, they would all know each other. They all grew up in similar circles. They would know each other. Then we have the Little Wolven, which are all of the kids. All of the werewolf kids. We have the Night Walkers. If you watch originals, you know why I call them the Night Walkers. But these are all of the vampire teenagers. We have the little bats. All of the vampire children. I need more vampire children, clearly. We have the magical adepts. That's all of the spellcaster teenagers. The gifted are all of the spellcaster children. And then we get into all of my other clubs. Because I have the Crows at Dawn. They're a band. I have created them. I love them. I'm actually obsessed. So I'm ready for us to get a band's pack. Basically, I'm ready for a band's pack. If we could just get it, that would be great. But we have like socialites with like, it's the older, like rich ladies. The like gold socialites who's like the adults and young adults. Like socialite ladies. We have the Gentleman's Club. Silver Spoons, like rich teenagers, basically. Celebrity wives. Golden Oldies. That's basically like a bunch of old Sims. They're a bunch of elders. We have the Country Club. Machino Country Club. We have the Strike Bowlers. We have Techies, like a bunch of tech Sims. Old Timers. More old people. More old people. Golden Oldies, yep. We have wellness clients. So I only made this club because I have a sim that is supposed to be a like personal trainer slash like yoga instructor, wellness guru, whatever. And she needed a client list almost. So these are her clients. We have the little book club. We have art club, little geniuses. And then we get into stuff like scouts. So because I have a lot of my kids in after school activities like scouts and drama, I wanted them to actually be in a club for that. So yeah. So, and because there's too many children to all put them in one club, so I have it split up a little bit. So we have my Shuno Scouts. So my Shuno Scouts are like, I believe it's San Myshuno and Evergreen Harbor, and I try to group the worlds together a little bit. So we have the Myshuno Actors, the Oasis Scouts, the Willow Scouts. We have Willow Actors, League of Legends, League of Adventures, League of Legends. No, League of Adventurers, not League of Legends. But yeah, so stuff like that. I mean, we have Caffeine Fiends, like they're into coffee. We have Ink and Quill, they're a writing club. The Brats, which think plastics from Mean Girls. The Brats. But spelled like brats from the dolls. We have cheerleaders, basketball jocks, football jocks, soccer jocks. Seahawks, they're kind of like the swim team for the high school. A music club, art club, all of that stuff. So like, I kind of took some of the in-game things like high school being, like the high school teenagers being able to have clubs and stuff like that. And I went more with it. Like, I went the extra mile with it. You love it? Thank you. So yeah, this is just some of the craziness. Like, for example, like, the mermaids, I have two of them living in Sulani. This family, the Tetwanui family. They're twins. So, they're twins, you know, they live there. But they have parents who are the Mer King and Queen from that club. And let me just see if I can find them. Where are they?
Oh my word, it's going to take me so long to find them. Where are they? Nope. Let's sort it alphabetically. Yeah, here we go. These are their parents. They're mermaids. They're kind of like the king and queen mermaid. I have that. And then I have that alien high council. I'm still working on setting that one up because I don't have all of the aliens yet. But that whole idea came from this sim. From Penthesilea. She's an alien princess living on Earth to get away from her mother. And there's a whole backstory there that I talked more about in the speed build of her house. But I did create her mother. And I'm in the wrong place. And I created her mother. This is her mother. And that sim is the sim that she was supposed to marry, that she did not want to marry, so she came to Earth. So yeah, I went all out with that stuff. But speaking of going all out, I promised that I would show you guys how to install my save file. So let me just poke around here a little bit, because I need to find it. I need to find the save file. And because it's me, I can't remember where I put it. Which is just wonderful. Screen, nope. Why am I doing this? Okay, here we go. I'm just going to download it and then show you guys from there, because that would be easier. So basically, if you are a channel member. If you're a tier 2 or tier 3 channel member, you have access to a work in progress version of my save file. So I do have, obviously, the first version of my save out for everyone. So this works if you have access to that, which everyone has access to that. I'm just using this as an example. But if you download that save, then, you know, you download it, obviously. Download anyway, yes. And then you would go ahead and you would save it. I'm just gonna plop it somewhere. Okay, so you would download it. It would come in a zip folder. You'd save it. Then you would go to it. You extract it, obviously. I use 7-zip, but some people use WinRAR or whatever. You extract it to, you know, wherever. And then you open it and you end up with this. So this is like slot blah 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 name. Now, I can't do this right now because I have my game open. But what you would do is you would copy this. So copy, paste, you know, you'd copy it. Then you would go into your documents. So for me, this is where my Sims folder is. So for me, it's under Documents, Electronic Arts, The Sims 4. You open that. Then you go to your saves. And then you would see all of this. So these are all of the save files that you have in your game. And this is important because if you go in here and you paste it. So let's say, for example, I'm going to go do this actually. And I'm going to go copy. And then I'm going to go to The Sims 4. To saves. And I'm going to click paste. But it's going to tell me that there's already a file named this. So you don't want to replace it, because if you replace it, you're going to write over a save that you already have, which is something you don't want to do. So what you're going to do is you're going to go back to wherever you have the save file. You're going to click rename, and then you're going to rename it to something that you don't have already in your folder. So I just put in save file 100. And then I'm going to copy that again, and then go to my save and paste it. And if you don't get that message of, you know, do you want to replace something, then you're good to go. Then all you have to do is open up your game and load the save file. And if you want to load it, it will show up as, let me go to my main menu and show you guys. Because when you go to your save, this is what you're gonna see is that name. It's like corner save something. I will show you. I suck at explaining stuff. But yeah, so you're gonna go load game. Yeah, it's a lot easier. And then, yeah, you'll see this. You'll see like save file 1.7 whip. That's the save. Or if you're downloading the public version, you're probably going to see... Where is it? Where is it? I don't know what the public version's name is, but it's going to say something like corner save. I think it's this one. It's going to say like corner save file 1.0. That's what the public version is going to say. But it's the same process of, you know, downloading the save file, extracting it, putting it in. Just make sure that, you know, you don't have your game open when you try to do that. And yeah, don't put it in your mods folder, put it in your saves folder. So yeah, if you have any experience with mods, then it's just a different folder, basically. So yeah, I hope that helped. I hope that helped. If any of you guys ever have any questions about that, feel free to ask. Like, you know, in this chat or in Discord or wherever. Because I know the first time I downloaded a save file, I was really confused. And I was so afraid of breaking stuff. Thank you. Okay, I'm glad it helped. My pleasure. But yeah, so... I know the first time I did it, it was nerve-wracking. Now, the reason I started off in the BFF household is because I'm actually in the process of giving Liberty some family. So these Sims are actually this is actually her uncle. I have already created her mother and her father and unalived them. And this is actually her father's brother and his wife. And I'm going to be creating kids for them as well. And they're going to live somewhere in Mount Kumarebi, I think. So, yeah, they're going to be like her extended family. I don't know where they're going to live, but they will live somewhere. They're going to live somewhere. Up here, somewhere. And what I was actually thinking... I'm going to run this by you guys because I don't normally talk about any of this stuff with, you know... I don't talk about any of this stuff with, like... I don't talk about it online anywhere, really. Like, my like, plans for the save. And as you can hear, my voice is starting to crap out on me, which is not great. I've been going for, like, 2.5 hours, so... And I've been talking a lot. But, yeah, so... In the like first version of my save, obviously we have all of Willow Creek done. We have all of Oasis Springs done. And then there's a couple of builds in some of the other worlds as well. This one is that musician's house that I told you guys about earlier that I finished in like June and still haven't shared the video of. But yeah, so in the first version of my save, these lots are all there, you know, stuff like that. And then I have like random bits and pieces in some of the other worlds. Like some of the other lots are done very sporadic because I jump around a lot. Now, even just going, that version that released in December last year. And even since then, I've added quite a bit. I haven't added as much to it as I would have liked. Ideally, my original plan for this, for the save, was to have the second version with at least 1 or 2 more worlds completely finished out by the middle of this year. And ideally, I would have focused on, you know, a world where I already had a lot of it done. So, like, originally I wanted to get Magnolia Promenade, and I believe Strangeville was my, like, main focus, because I only have 2 lots left to do in Strangeville, and 1 in Magnolia Promenade. And I believe I was going to focus on Forgotten Hollow too, because I have 3 lots left to do in here. But then obviously everything happened in May, and that kind of derailed me and my channel and all of the plans that I had for the year. Kind of just went out of the window. So yeah, that is why the second version isn't out yet. But that's also why I'm doing this thing where I'm giving channel members early access, because I want to kind of like, I want to get feedback as I go. And also it's kind of a nice little incentive, you know, because I don't know when the next version is going to be out, obviously. I kind of like, I don't know, I feel like some people would like it, would like to be able to access, you know, an in-progress versions of it. Because since the first version released, I've added the Dreamer household, I've added their house, I did the Bro household. I've done quite a few things here and there. I did a complete rebuild of this 3-story apartment, which took me ages. What else did I rebuild? I know I rebuilt a couple of other things as well, since the last save file version went out. I just cannot remember what it was that I actually ended up rebuilding. I know I rebuilt a couple of apartments. I rebuilt this one, the Harley's apartment. I rebuilt the Jang family's apartment. I built Diego's penthouse as well, I believe. I don't think that was in the first version. I did that. I'm going to rebuild this lounge that I have up here, lounge and restaurant, because I hate it. I did it years ago, and at the time I thought it looked really cool and interesting, and now looking back on it, it's just like, why did I do that? What was I thinking? So I need to rebuild that. But yeah, I've added quite a few things. I've added stuff to Brindleton Bay. I think I did that house, the Fraser's house, after the first version released. I know I did a couple of other things too. I created this family, which they're interesting. So we have the dad, Garrick. He has a wife, Kendria. They have 3 kids, technically. The mom has 4 kids, and it'll make sense in a second. But they have Verity and Vance, they're twins. Then they have Claire and Emmett, who's an infant. Now, the reason I say they have 3 kids, but the mom has 4, is because they have a live-in nanny, Dan. So they have a nanny, technically Dan, who is technically like, he's basically raising their children. They are not the greatest parents. They don't particularly care a lot about raising the kids themselves. So they have a live-in nanny. And Dan, he used to be in the military. He, you know, served, and then he came back, and they kind of have him also as, he doubles kind of like as a bodyguard almost for their kids. because they're very rich. You know, I figured, you know, it's something that they would need. And Dan has a brother. Wow. My accent just came through. Like, wow. I need to laugh at myself, honestly. But yeah, so Dan has a brother. Yes, English word, not Afrikaans, English. Called Zachary. Now, Zachary, he came to visit them. He's a lot less responsible than his brother is, basically. He is kind of like almost the black sheep of the family. And he came to stay with his brother a couple of, I'm going to say like, I don't know, maybe like a year ago or so. Maybe a year, maybe like 14 months ago or so. And he stayed with him for a while. And he kind of, Kendria and Zachary kind of had a thing. So that is where Emmett comes in. That is why Emmett looks nothing like his father. He also looks nothing like his siblings. They're all blonde. They all look very similar. They all resemble their mom and their dad. Whereas Emmett clearly does not. He clearly does not look like his dad. So, yeah, that's where he comes in. He looks a little bit more like Dan. But Dan, luckily, you know, Garrick knows that Dan isn't the kind of person that would do that. So he doesn't suspect him, like, at all. But he is a little bit suspicious of Zachary. So, yeah, that is a thing. That is also why Dan, he knows about that. And that is why he told his brother that he can never stay with him again. So, yeah. He basically kicked his brother out because of that. Because he was like, you know, how can you do that? They're A, my employers, and B, I live with them. Also, C, I'm basically raising their children. Like, he's been with them for years at this point. So he's like, how could you do that? Yeah, so it's a thing. We also have that band that I was telling you guys about, the Crows at Dawn. These are 3 of the members. The other 2 members are in other households in the world. So, yeah, that is a very, I don't know. I don't want to say rough look because I feel like I went way overboard with explaining all of that and talking about my save. Like, I feel like I definitely did more with that than I probably... I feel like I talked more about it than I probably should have. And it probably bored you guys a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if it bored you a little bit. But yeah, that is basically a little behind the scenes look at my save. Also, I wanted to show you guys, where am I? No, not at all, it was great, I'm glad. But I wanted to show you a sneak peek. That is the library that I did. I'll show you it really quickly. That I haven't done a video for yet, but it's done, it's in the save. And speaking of which, I should probably upload another work in progress version of it. Because since I've released the first version, I've actually added... I don't know, I can't remember if I added 1 or 2 builds. I think I've added 2 or 3. I don't know. But yeah. So if it loads, ever. See, that's the thing, like, with the optimization of the game. Like... I don't have any crashing issues, like unstable issues. My game isn't unstable at all, where it crashes or whatever. It just takes a while. It takes a while to load. So yeah, that is something. It's something. Especially like my save. I didn't realize how much work goes into a huge save file like this. You've done an amazing job. I love hearing all about all of the lore and backstories. I am so glad. That actually means so much to hear, because I always I struggle with like imposter syndrome, where I feel like nothing I do is good, or like everyone else can do a better job. Yeah, I use the MC Command Center mod, yeah. I like have that in my game always. Oh, thank you, Lisa. But yeah, so this is that library that I showed a little teaser of on Twitter. But yeah, this is the Copperdale Library and Cafe. So I definitely took inspiration from the original build. I don't remember who did the original build, like which simmer was responsible for building the original lot, but I definitely took inspiration for the shape of it from that. I just obviously I bulldozed it and built my own, but it's very similar to the original shape. But yeah, so this is the like library, but over here we actually have a little cafe on this like little tiny bottom portion of it. It's just this very tiny little space. So yeah, the employees can access it from the back, and there's no seating inside at all. And I did that intentionally because in my head it's not one of those cafes where you would go and sit down and, you know, eat and drink like inside. It's one of those where you would go in to get a coffee, and then you would go maybe next door to the library to study, or you would maybe like sit outside to study, or enjoy this little like park space that's in the world with your coffee or whatever. So that was kind of my idea with it. Awesome. I just downloaded it this week because my very, very old and original saved game just died via the age up bug, and I have to start at the beginning. Yeah. So MC Command Center is an absolutely fantastic mod. It can be very intimidating because you can do a lot with it. Like, it can be incredibly intimidating, but it's an absolutely amazing mod. And if you want to, like I'm doing, like set up a save file, for example, and you want to like cheat stuff without having to play through everything, then it's absolutely essential. Like, honestly, I can't play without MC Command Center at this point. I physically cannot do it. But yeah, so that's a little cafe, and then we have the library in here. Yes, it is, but worth it? Definitely. Definitely. So yeah, we have a little downstairs portion of the library. Obviously, we have a little bathroom. I did make sure to put in a little changing table. So yeah, this is more of like a reading, you know, a couple of tables. And then upstairs, we have more of like a loungy space. So more seating space, chess tables, more like desks. I do have a couple of research computers in here. So those research machines from Discover University. And then some big PCs as well downstairs. And then I have a couple of laptops placed on the tables, kind of to make it look like Sims have come here and they've brought their laptops with them. And then over on this side, we actually have a cute little kids corner, which I love. I love the way this turned out. So yeah, we have some kids skill building items, some play stuff, a little like play mat for an infant. So you can imagine that if your Sims come here to maybe like write or whatever, they could bring their infant and then leave them up here with, you know, realistically, there would be some sort of like daycare person, like taking care of the kids. So that's why I have all of these windows in here as well. And it's why it's its own separate room. So you could maybe like drop your kids off at the daycare at the library for a couple of hours while you like actually focus on like working or studying or whatever. So yeah, I really like that. So that's the one build. And then the other one that I don't know if I'm going to show it to you guys. I kind of really want to. And then we're probably going to end stream, maybe. Unless you guys want to talk more, because I can totally just sit here and talk all night. Like, I don't mind. But yeah, so, I really, like, I've been sitting for like 3 hours. And yeah, I've something I wanted to mention is this bloody high school. I haven't rebuilt the high school. I've started 3 separate high school builds, like 3 of them. And I've gotten like to a point where I maybe did the exterior or something, and then decided that I hated it. So I bulldozed it. Oh, thank you, Stina, for becoming a channel member. I don't know why my alerts aren't playing. Why are my alerts not playing? Why? But thank you, Stina, for becoming a channel member. I really appreciate that. And I'm sorry my alerts aren't playing. I don't know what's up with them. So weird. I have them set up. Whatever. Just stream stuff. Tech stuff. Being a pain. But yeah, so like, those big builds. Oh, there it is. There it goes. Just a little bit delayed. Oh wow, love your content. Thank you. But yeah, so like, those big builds, like, there are quite a few builds that I have left to do that I'm just procrastinating on. Which is why it's like, that's why Newcrest isn't filled yet. Because if you guys remember, like, you saw that brief picture of it, but I have 3 lots left to do in Newcrest. And I'm actively working on rebuilding one of my really, really old builds. But I have 3 lots left to do, and they're all big. Like, there's 2 40 by 30s and then a 50 by 40. And that's the reason I haven't done them yet, is because they're big and they take ages. And I don't want to do that. Part of me wants to, like, I really want to build a mansion. I'm really in the mood to build a mansion. But time-wise, I know it's going to take me 7 centuries to actually do. And at this point, I'm kind of trying to almost get ahead a little bit with like content and videos, or at least have like a backlog of builds that are already done that I can just edit as I need them. Because I'm obviously, if you follow me on Twitter, you know this, but I've recently gone back to school and I really need to start focusing on my schoolwork. And I haven't yet. I mean, I've started it, but I'm nowhere near where I need to be with it yet. So that's why I'm trying to not do a bunch of really big builds, because I don't want them. I can't afford to spend 9 hours on a build, if you know what I mean. And then like 5 hours after that editing it. So that's why I'm kind of avoiding the big builds at the moment. But yeah, so this is the other build that I wanted to show you guys that I teased on Twitter a little bit, but I also showed you guys a picture of the exterior. If you're a channel member, you saw that. But yeah, so this is the little Mount Kimarebi shopping street. I called it the Kimarebi Shotengai because I googled it, and Shotengai is actually, it actually means like a shopping street. So it's what they call them. So yeah, we have a bunch of different buildings up here. So over on this side, we have a restaurant. Love this, thank you. We have a restaurant slash tea room kind of space. So out here we have a bunch of seating, obviously restaurant seating. Inside we have a host station, so it's an actual restaurant. It functions as a restaurant. I'm uploading it to the gallery as a restaurant. I have all of the like like employee outfit set up. I have a whole custom menu set up and everything like that. But yeah, so it can function as a restaurant. We have a kitchen that has access to the little like outdoor, like back alleyway almost area. But yeah, then upstairs we have more of like the tea room space. So if you don't want to run this as a restaurant, if you want to run it as a bar or whatever, or anything like that, then your Sims can come up here and enjoy like the like kotatsu tables, but also the tea sets that I placed down. This is wonderful, thank you. But yeah, so we have a little like tea room space up here with obviously the bathrooms for this like particular business. Then next to it, we have a bubble tea or boba tea, whatever, and thrift shop. So it's this building right here, and then this upstairs space. So if you come in, you have the little like boba bubble tea shop. Again, employees can access it from the back. But yeah, so we have the bubble tea shop, some seating, very, very different in vibe from the very dark, almost moody, atmospheric restaurant next door. This is very bright pastel. I don't know why there's a mailbox in the middle of the lot. Anyway, just Sims things. But yeah, so we have some seating down here. Then you can go upstairs where we have the thrift store space of it. So we have all of the thrift store stuff. I don't know why there's another bookcase. The game loves being glitchy. But yeah, so we have the little thrift store space. We have a bathroom for obviously, you know, this business. We have another bathroom. Over on this side, we have, you know, where you Sims can like try on outfits. I have a little dressing room, all of that stuff. So that's a little like bubble tea shop. And then next to it, we have a laundromat, which I actually loved building. Looks awesome. Thanks, Kelly. But yeah, so we have a little laundromat. I have a little games table out the front. But yeah, so this is more of an aesthetic thing. Doesn't really serve a gameplay purpose. But yeah, so we have a laundromat with a bunch of washers, dryers, a little folding table. I have some vending machines in here as well. Some backpacks, like your Sims they're here, they've left their backpacks while they're working. Stuff like that. So that's a little laundromat. And then right on the end, we have a bar / karaoke bar. So we have a little entrance space. This is the bar portion. So we have a foosball table, obviously the bar itself, some seating, TV, you know, all of that stuff that you would expect to find. And then upstairs is where the karaoke space is. So there's a couple of different sections for karaoke. We have some more tables. I have a little dartboard, some seating out on the balcony as well. I didn't do anything on this balcony just because it's just a one-tile balcony. Your Sims can access it. It does have a door, but it's a one-tile balcony. But on this one, I did put some seating. And then we have another little bathroom for this building. Or for this business. Because in my head, obviously, this would be like, they would all be separate businesses, you know? So, yeah. But yeah, that is the little, like, Japanese shopping street, which I think blends into this area really, really well. And this is one of those things where, like with the Nishidaki home that I did over there for that family, I had to do actual research. And I had to actually, like, look at pictures to make sure that I got it looking okay. To make sure that I got it looking, you know, even if I couldn't make it exactly correct, because it's The Sims and there are some things that you just can't do with it. Even though I couldn't do that perfectly, I did try and make it as accurate as I possibly could, you know? So, yeah. But, yeah, you guys, so we've been going for, what, almost 3 hours? Yeah, almost 3 hours. And as you can hear, my voice is dying on me. So I don't know if I should just call it right now. But yeah, I didn't really want to do any building or like something like that in this stream, just because I don't know, I'm not really in a building mood. And I don't really tend to do gameplay because my current households are heavily modded. Like, not heavily modded. I mean, I know some people have a lot more gameplay mods than I do, but I don't do a lot of gameplay, so. But the mods that I do use aren't exactly YouTube friendly. I love mods. What kind of mods do you use for gameplay? So I use more like realism adding stuff. So, and they are all YouTube friendly. I use one mod that's not YouTube friendly for my current household, just because, yeah, why not? But the other mods that I use basically everything by Lumpino. I use her pregnancy and woohoo overhaul mod. I'm gonna see if I can. I want to link you guys to her website because Lumpino is one of the few modders that I support on Patreon. And this isn't a plug for Patreon or anything like that. And it's not because I don't want to support other modders. It's just I can't financially afford to support everyone that I want to. But Lumpino is one of the people that I've been supporting the longest. And her mods are literally game changing. So the main mod that she's kind of like known for is the relationship and pregnancy overhaul collection. It used to be called the Woohoo Wellness mod, but since then it has expanded so freaking much. It's insane. So let me just put this in. You love my loading screen? Thank you so much. But yeah, so this is Lumpino's website. And if you go to her website, you will see this is what her website looks like, basically. So this is the RPO collection mods. So, ooh, thank you. Yeah, pleasure. But yeah, so these mods, they are made together to, basically it started out as one mod, and then she kept adding to it, and eventually it turned into this absolutely gigantic, like, thing. So it has so many different modules, and it's gigantic. It changes so much of the core gameplay of the game. For me, it's essential. Like, it's one of those things where I cannot do gameplay without it. And then I use most of her other mods as well. Like, I use her LGBTQIA mod, I use her first impressions and mood mod and mood pack, open love life. I use like basically all of her mods. You've never used mods? Wow, Lisa. So yeah, mods are more complicated than the save file. Not to install them, but to make sure that you install them correctly. It's very like, you need to know what you're doing, basically. But on YouTube, if you just Google like how to install Sims 4 mods, or if you go to this site, Lumpino actually has, for all of her mods, she's really good at telling you, like, she's really good at tutorial wise, you know, telling you how to install it, helping you troubleshoot if something's wrong. She's really good also like at telling you what you can install with her mods and what you can't, you know, stuff like that. So she's very good at that. But yeah, so for mods that I use, basically, like I said, all of Lumpino's mods. All of Lumpino's mods. I use a ton of mods from A Deep Indigo. I use, yeah, just there's so many different mods, you guys. I could probably sit here talking for like an hour just about mods. But yeah, it's a lot. It really is a lot. And I don't know why it feels like... Did my stream just lag a little bit? Or is it just on the preview thing? Whatever. My brain is... You'd love a vid only about mods? Honestly, I might do that at some point. Me and those I use, yeah. I could probably do that because I don't use a ton of different people's mods. Like, I use Lumpino's mods, I use Pandasama's birth mod as well, their realistic birth mod. I use, because that adds, again, so much. But I use things like, yeah, Lumpino. I use a lot of Little Miss Sam's mods as well. Little Miss Sam is another one of those modders where she has so many, both game-changing mods, but also things that just improve gameplay, like overall quality of life improvements to the game. Yeah, I love Little Miss Sam. She was actually one of the first modders whose stuff that I like started using and realized like I need these in my life. Like I cannot play without them. And then yeah, I used a little bit of my current household at the moment. I don't use any like custom content for them. I use build by custom content, some, and then some like skin details. But I try to keep my Creator Sim CC very minimal for that. Mostly just because I don't want to overload my game. You love my save file and would love a new release. Yeah, I talked about this a little bit earlier. But I was planning on... So the original idea for the save is I wanted to release the second version of it in the middle of this year. So like June, July. But then a lot of stuff happened in May. And it kind of derailed me. It really derailed my life. And all of the plans that I had, I kind of basically scrapped everything that I was planning on doing. So, I just haven't had the time. If I'm being completely honest, I haven't had the time. I've gone back to school. Again, I'm probably starting a job, like a full-time job at the end of September. Because money is tight. And we lost one of our incomes. So, yeah, the save file, I'm working on it. But at the moment, it just can't be my first priority, if that makes sense. And also, The Sims have been releasing a lot of new stuff. So, like, every time we get a new pack, I want to make videos about the new pack. So, I end up making stuff about the new pack. And then it's been like 3 weeks since I've done anything for my save file. Suddenly. Especially this year. This year has been crazy. Like, for the first half of the year, I was working on the horse ranch stuff. And then in between that, we had Growing Together, which was big. And then everything happened in May. And then I kind of just dropped off the map for a little bit. I mean, I still posted, but I was mentally not doing great. And I'm still not. But anyway, I've kind of gotten to a point where I'm working, forcing myself to work through it, basically. That sounds bad. But yeah, so all of the packs, and I mean, we're getting a third expansion pack again. So, like, we're getting a third expansion pack. I say that like it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a very good thing. But save file wise, every time they add a new world, it means more work for me. And it also means like with Horse Ranch and Growing Together, for example, when we got Growing Together, I immediately wanted to start working on San Sequoia for my save. And I did a lot of builds with that, but none of them were for my save file. They were all just random builds that I felt like doing, but couldn't think of a way to put them, like, incorporate them in my save. So I ended up with like all of these builds for the pack that didn't have any place in my save file. And then when I came to actually building for my save, I was kind of like burnt out on San Sequoia. So that was a same with like Horse Ranch as well, like I mentioned earlier. I spent so much time working on the builds for that, and then I spent so much time working on the builds for that, for like the official builds for that pack, that when I actually got my hands on the pack again, I didn't want to, like, I did so much with early access as well, so that when it came to working on my save for it, I was just like, no, I don't want to look at another ranch house for the next like 4 months. Like, I don't want to touch it. Will you be posting an edited overview of the file? I was working and missed the stream. Oh yeah, no, this whole VOD will be up. Like, it will stay up on the channel. Yeah, so, yeah, the overview is kind of more of me just rambling for like 2 hours. My pleasure. Yeah, so like the first hour of this stream, like, the first hour of it was me just sitting here talking to you guys. Just talking, catching up, talking some stuff, all of that stuff. Then I go into, from like the hour-ish mark, I'll try and timestamp the VOD eventually. It might not be right after the stream, but probably around tomorrow or so, I will go and I'll try and timestamp it, so that if you don't want to sit through the whole like 3+ hours, you can skip to wherever you want to be. But yeah, I'll try and do that. But basically, from like the hour-ish mark, I start talking about the save and I go through my extensive I'll show it to you again because you weren't here. But I go through my extensive, like, spreadsheet of so much save file information and kind of like explain why I have it and when do I go live. I don't think I will. I don't really have a schedule for these. Like, today's stream was kind of like an impromptu one. I don't usually live stream. But yeah, so like from the hour mark, we go through those like behind the scenes, like organization stuff, how I do it for my save, why I do it. And then I go into the game, I show you a little bit more of the families, go through a lot of rambling about backstories and lore that I have set up, mostly for the occults in my save file. I should probably do a video about that, to be honest. I should probably do a occult, like, lore video, because the way I did it in this stream is just like, I was just rambling for like 2 hours. Or like an hour and a half about vampires and bloodlines and spellcasters and councils and werewolf packs. We would love an occult lore video. Yeah, it's one of those things where I have a obscene amount of videos that are ideas for things that I want to do. The problem with that list is some of them revolve around me actually planning stuff beforehand. And I suck at that. Also, I'm very much a mood creator. So I have to be in the mood to do something. Because I had no idea you were live, I just refreshed YouTube. Yeah, this wasn't a, like, it's not a regular thing. These live streams, I don't normally do them. So I started thinking about it on, what was it? Thursday evening. I had this big urge to just randomly go live, and I didn't do it because I was running on like 3 hours of sleep, and it was already like 12 a.m. in the morning when I thought about it. But I decided I wanted to do a little bit of a chill stream. But if you guys like this, and if you're okay with not necessarily always doing something, like not necessarily always having to build or always having to do something productive in these streams, then I could definitely make this a more regular thing. Because the only thing that puts me off streaming more is I don't like building on camera. I feel like I suck at building on camera when I'm live, and I feel like I'm not entertaining when I build because I build in silence. So I struggle with that. Chrissie says she sucks at planning, but then shows us a whole document of Okay, so planning stories I can do. Planning a structured video, I suck at. That's true. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like planning stories I can do. Like, I can do that, like all day, every day. But I ramble so much. And I don't know how to stop that. I don't know how to not do that. So, doing something like a lore video, where I talk about the lore that I have in my head for the occults in my game, I feel like that video would be like an hour and a half long. Because I get distracted so easily. The freaking ADHD in me gets distracted. And it's one of those things where I put it off, even though I really want to do it, and I know people would like it. I put it off because I feel like if I did do it, no one would watch it, because it would be like longer than my normal videos, and it's not the kind of content that I usually post. And also, I feel like it needs to be the way that others would do it, like structured and, you know, maybe heavily edited and, you know, all of that stuff. Not me just sitting here talking for like 45 to 60 minutes about The Sims in my save file. Like, you know? I don't know. How about making a shell challenge and then touring some of them each stream while you just chat? That way you don't need to stress about building, but can see what others build and be inspired. I like these types of laid-back streams. Yeah, so like, I would like to do this. I would like to just sit here talking for a while. I mean, I don't feel like I'm entertaining, but, you know, I like watching stuff like this myself too, so. But yeah, like with the shell challenge, I would love to do that. I've done a couple of shell challenges on the channel, like as videos where I've done them usually for like milestones or anniversaries or whatever. And then I did, you know, like tour videos of some of them. You also love shell challenges? Yeah, I mean, I like doing shell challenges. I just never felt like I just never felt like... It's one of those things again where I feel like if I can't do it perfectly, or if I can't do it the way someone else does it, then I don't want to do it. Which is stupid. It's like, it's a really bad way of looking at things, because if you do something, you're never going to be able to do it exactly the way someone else does it. It's not going to happen. And it doesn't mean that what you do is worse than what someone else does. Because it's different. That's just how my brain works. Like, it doesn't even need to be a big shell challenge. You could just do a 4x4 room theme challenge. Yeah. That could be fun. That could really be fun. Because I know the last time that I did a room challenge, I had a lot of entries and I couldn't feasibly tour all of them in one video. So doing like a room challenge or a like smaller shell challenge or whatever, and then touring them on stream could be really fun. That's a really good idea. I might just have to do that. Especially with everything that I have going on in real life right now. My time is a lot more, I guess, restricted. Or, yeah. So, I can't upload as many videos as I would like. So, maybe doing like once a week a stream. Because I've been live for like 3 hours and something. But like, I can't make a video in 3 hours. Like, I can't. Like, I can make a build in 3 hours. And there's no pressure of touring them all in one stream. Yeah. Like, exactly. Like, I mean, especially because what's nice with like doing it on stream is I can like tour a couple of them, or like I can tour one, and I don't need to worry about rambling. Because that's what usually happens in my tour, what am I saying? In my shell tour videos, when I do them for YouTube, that's what usually happens. I have to restrict myself to maybe like only touring 5 builds, because chances are I will tour one and then get distracted and ramble for like 10 minutes. But on stream, I don't have to worry about that. So if I can't get through all of them, then I can just continue the next stream. Words are hard? Yeah. Yep. Especially because it is 20 minutes past 12. Which isn't all that late. For me, anyway. But yeah, so like, if you guys would like this to be a, like, weekly thing, I could definitely do that. And, see, that's the thing. I don't want to, like, overpromise, because I have a bad habit of doing that. Like, overpromising and overextending myself. And then I have bad brain days or bad brain weeks, especially with everything that's happened this year. It's like I can't always predict what my mental state and my physical health is going to look like. So I don't want to say like, okay, every Saturday night we're doing a live stream, because chances are if I do that, it's not going to happen. Like, if I say something like that, it's probably not going to happen. Which is also why I did this stream on such short notice. Because I knew that if I thought about doing this on Thursday, and then decided, you know, let's not do it Thursday, because I was running on 3 hours of sleep. I had that idea at like 12 a.m. Probably not the best idea. So I figured, you know, let's sit on it. I'll not go live right now and regret it. So I figured, maybe Friday, but yesterday was a lot. So I figured, no later than Saturday. Because if I put it off anymore, I wasn't going to do it. I would have found a way to talk myself out of actually doing it. Which I do a lot. I do that a lot. I talk myself out of stuff a lot. I'm very good at that. But yeah, so I am making a note of that right now. Because, yes, otherwise I will forget. So let me just... Where's my notes page? We are making a note of Shell Challenge streams. And I'm doing this in my bullet journal, funnily enough. Just talking or shell challenges. And there we go. You'll be really excited to take part in the shells as well. Oh, thank you, Hen. I would love to see that. Yeah, I have a bullet journal. I've been bullet journaling off and on since I think 2019. Yeah, I hate those slumps in. Like, I hate them. Especially because I know a lot of people don't understand that because they say like, oh, you're just playing a game, just take a break. But when you do it for YouTube, and at the moment, YouTube is my only source of income. It's the only thing that is an income for me. And it's very necessary. So, when you rely on it, and that's not to say like, oh, you should watch my videos more. It's a YouTube algorithm thing. Because if you go like 2 weeks without posting a video, it buries your channel. Like, it just does. So, yeah, if you go through a bit of a slump, you can't just say, oh, I'm going through a boulder slump. I won't post a video for the next 2 weeks. Because digging your channel out of that hole is a pain. It takes months to dig yourself out of that hole. Like, in May, with everything that happened in May, my channel took such a hit. I mean, I barely uploaded in May. I think I uploaded maybe like 3 videos all of May. And before that, my channel was doing fantastically. And I couldn't upload in May. I mean, I had just lost my mom. And I was like, I was dealing with more than I've ever dealt with before in my life. Even mentally, it was very bad. So I couldn't upload more. But obviously YouTube doesn't get that. And I'm still trying to dig my channel out of that hole. Like, no worries, Tina. It's fine. Yeah, I say that very nonchalantly, but yeah, it's same thing with Twitter. Like, if you do stuff like that, especially if you're someone like me, where I do have ADHD, it's not a new thing, but it's a newly diagnosed thing for me. So I'm still learning how to deal with it and work around it. And then you throw in this shit show over here. Like I said, I can't guarantee what I'm going to feel like tomorrow, let alone in 2 weeks. So being ahead with videos or going, I mean, before that I was uploading like 2-3 videos a week, And after that, I'm lucky if I get one video out a week. So it's a pain in the ass. But I think doing these live streams is going to be really, really fun because, like, I don't know, I feel like I can interact with you guys a little bit more. And also, if I only upload one video a week, at least I have like one live stream as well. And it's not just like one video and then I'm dropping off the face of the earth. So, you know, I don't know, I like that. And then I don't feel guilty about, you know, like only uploading once, because I do feel guilty if I only upload one video a week. Which sucks, but you know. But yeah, so yeah, I do have a bullet journal. Going back to that, like I said, distracted. But I've been bullet journaling off and on for like a couple of years now. But it wasn't until, I think it was last year. I think it was last year that I really got into it. And part of me kind of wants to go and grab my older journals, because I only have my current one with me at the moment, because obviously I'm not my normal setup. But I have to admit, this background, not too bad. I mean, usually my background is just my bed, since I'm usually in my bedroom. So this isn't too bad, I have to admit. The lighting is a little bit weird, but you know. So I think I've been live for like 3.5 hours, but we're gonna go take a quick potty break because I need to. I've been sitting for 3.5 hours. So quick toilet break, and I'm going to grab my other journals from like the past year, 2 years, because I really want to show those to you guys. I don't have anywhere else that I show them. So yeah, I want to show that to you guys, because this is a very like catch up chat stream. Yeah, no worries, in it's like I said, it's like it's 12:30 for me. So good night, and hope you have a great night's sleep. And thank you so much for being here. It was really nice seeing you. And thank you for the great idea as well, like for the stream, like for doing them more. So yeah, hope you have a great night. I'm gonna pop onto the break screen and I will be right back. See you guys in like, it's not even going to be 5 minutes, like 3 minutes. Okay, we are back. We are back. So let me just move my keyboard out of the way because I have a stack of journals to show you guys. Like, I have so many journals. So this is my current one. Yeah, I actually dug out a journal from, when did this one start? 2021. My older journals are buried a little bit deeper. So, like, this is, like, going through these, it's always such a trip to me because seeing the difference in, like, my art skills, and also, like, I mean, just it's weird. But yeah, so this is May of 2021. And I think the video is flipped so you guys can't like read it. Let me see if I can flip the camera. Why can I not flip you? Oh, because you're locked. Duh. Transform. Flip. Is that right side up? Can you guys read that? So yeah, this is May 2021. This is where this journal starts. And this is when I like, that's right side up? Okay, awesome. So this is when I kind of like really got back into it, if that makes sense. And like, it's functional, but it's not really great. I mean, this was my June of 2021, my cover page. So, you know, obviously I did the Pride theme because June. Now, if you compare that one with, that's not June. And yes, I am kind of like putting myself on blast with this. But that was June 2021. This was 2022. And I have a bunch of random papers falling out. So even just with 1 year, like, it looks so much like different. It looks so different. Like, I've gotten, that's 2022, and I believe this is July. Where's June? Oh my word. Yeah, no. That is July because it's 2022. Like, I thought there was going to be 4 Junes. It's only 3. Yikes. But yeah, so this was what? March, April, May, June. So my June this year was more fruit themed, but still Pride. Like rainbow. just a little bit more, I guess, I don't know, subdued. So it's always so weird going back and like seeing some of my like, I mean, in 2022 this was a stretch for me. Like, oh my word, why do I have all of these papers? This is what happens when I just put random scraps of paper like in any journal that I can find. But like doing this, for example, was a stretch for me. I didn't used to want to do any sort of doodling or drawing or anything like that because I felt like I wasn't good at it, so I didn't do it. So yeah, I mean, it was weird going from that to doing something like, where is it? Where's the start? Doing something like this. You can't really see it because the light isn't picking it up well. But this was December of last year. So I did a lot of like seashells and all of that stuff. So yeah, I mean, I went from basically not wanting to like draw anything ever to going a lot more heavy with like doodling and all of that stuff. And I mean, then I started this year and I did stuff like this where I completely, like, this was January and I actually did all of these tabs for January with nail polish. Like, I painted them with nail polish, which I would not recommend. It took me 7 centuries to do and to dry them, so would not recommend. Cannot recommend. And then for March, like this year, I did this. I tea stained all of my pages for March, which again took me ages. And then I went in and I wrote a bunch of like affirmations and all of that stuff all over the pages. Like, it took me ages. I did a lot less drawing in my journal this year from past years. Yeah, I feel like I've gotten more confident with it. But then you definitely have spaces like this. This was supposed to be April's cover page, and I just never finished it. Like, I never finished April's cover page. A lot of April I didn't even fill in. And then, you know, everything happened in May. And May was a very, like... See, I have, like, empty spaces where I was supposed to fill stuff in, and I just didn't because May was basically a write-off. If I'm being completely honest. Then you get to June where things like... I kind of like forced myself to get up and do stuff. And then we have my like second journal for the year. So last year I actually went through 3 journals because I had like January through June and then July through I think October. And then November and December I had to put in a separate journal. You use watercolors? Yeah, I've never used watercolors, mostly because I don't have them. And also, I don't think I have the patience. I don't like waiting for stuff to dry. Like, I don't have the patience for that. But yeah, so this year's journal, I basically just did a little cover thing, and then I did my like future log, you know, all of that stuff, future log, future tasky stuff. And then I started July, where I went heavy with the drawing. Clearly. Like, I went heavy with drawing in July. Drawing and cutting stuff out and all of that kind of stuff, which I really, really like. I love doing Julys. And then, or July? July, yeah. July. August was also really fun because I've never used pencils in my book. I usually use markers, like dual tip markers. So for August, I went in and I was really inspired by Amanda Rach Lee. And I did like a bunch of kind of like just cityscape doodles. All of this stuff is done with pencil, like pencil and then one marker. And I did everything with pencil. All of my line work, all of like the doodles, everything that I drew in. And I also started doing a rolling task list and then having my regular weeks. And then this month, I again went very heavy with the doodling. A lot of doodling. But I love this. This month I definitely used my journal as kind of like a mental relaxing thing. Now the funny thing is, I wanted to show you guys a quick little comparison. I don't know if it's in this one. That's July. I'm looking for, I know there was one where I did like sunflower drawings, but it was in one of my older ones that I just need to find, because again, aha, whoops, I just hit the mic, sorry. But yeah, so this was my December 2021. Okay, so yeah, that wasn't supposed to be a sunflower, it was supposed to be a sun. But you know, if you compare that with even this sunflower, like there's like a world of difference. And I've gotten a lot more like comfortable with cutting stuff out of my journal, because I did like waterfall tabs on this side for all of my like regular, you know, pages. And then for my weeklies, I did this. So like I drew all of this stuff in, and then for the weeklies I'll like fold them, and it's 1 week and etc, etc, which is a lot. And I'm still working on next month. I haven't even finished it. I haven't even finished drawing everything in yet, which is concerning because I have a lot of drawing to do for it, because it's not even going to pick up well. But it's supposed to be like a crime scene investigation board thing, and it's going to rely heavily on like drawing stuff in, and luckily I've already done the tabs for it, so all of the tabs are done. But yeah, I have a lot of drawing to do. A lot of drawing to do. It's kind of concerning. But I love when I look at I like bullet journaling, because yes, I can keep track of all of this stuff online. I do use online planners. I use Trello, and I use obviously Google Calendars for stuff. I use, you know, all of those things. But there's something almost comforting about having an actual physical journal. Like, I don't know, there's something comforting for me about that. I'm, like I said earlier, I'm a very visual person. So, oh, sorry. Yikes. So if I can, I'm more likely to do something if I can hold it in my hand. Like, I'm more likely to remember it as well if I can see it, like physically see it. You like how I fold the days? Thanks. I got that from, I can't remember whose channel I got that from. I saw that in one of the, I follow a lot of like bullet journaling channels on YouTube, and I saw that in someone's, I can't remember who it was, but I saw it somewhere and they did it for one of their months, and it was really cool because I did customize mine a little bit. So I have, obviously this is week 1. So week 1 I have my priorities for the week. Then I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then a Dutch door that I fold for Thursday. And then if I flip it around, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I like doing it this way because I can always see my priorities wherever I am in the week, which is great. And then I flip over to my next week and it's the same. And then I did it right at the back because the way I did it, I had this, like, obviously this is where the last week ends. So I had this space at the back that I just have my running tasks list in for each week. So I'll like put the 4th week's stuff in there. And then on the side, I have all of my like really, really important dates that I need to remember. I have them like right at the side so that I can always see them no matter where I am in like what week I am. And I always like including a little like mini calendar, at like all of my weeklies. Usually I'll do them for each week, but for this one, the way it worked out, I had to do it once and I could see it the whole time. So yeah. But yeah, those are all of my bullet journals. That's kind of like how I organize my life. I use these. Like I said, I use Trello. I use Google Calendar mostly just for like big, like dates, like birthdays, holidays, stuff like that. Then I use Trello to keep track of video stuff. Like I kind of want to show you guys. I don't know why I'm showing you all of this. Like, I know very few people are probably interested in seeing all of this. But let me just move. I use Trello. This is Trello. I use this to keep track of videos. So, like, these pink ones I need to edit. The red ones I'm still in the process of recording. And then I use these and I keep track of notes for them. I keep track of where I am. So, like, did I, make notes about the build info or edit it, voiceover, all of that stuff. So, yeah, it's a very... I feel like I make my life a lot more complicated than it probably needs to be. But, yeah. I also feel like if I don't do all of that stuff, then I'm going to lose track of everything that I need to do. So, but yeah, for next year, I actually went ahead and I bought a planner. So, yeah, this is from, I buy all my planners from the same company. It's a local company to me. And I bought one of their, like, normal planners. So ones that, have the weeks already filled in. But it's kind of nice because it's a little bit different. It has spaces for, every day has something else that you're supposed to reflect on, like, what am I grateful for? Or what self-care things small self-care things can I do? Or, just things like that. Lessons that I learned this week. And things like that, so that I don't have to spend so much time focused on setting them up. And they also have stuff like, you know, recipes like right in the book, and it's really cool. So I'm really excited to start that one next year. But I did that because, like I mentioned earlier, I'm back in school. So time management is something that I struggle with a lot. Like, even just with the ADHD stuff, like time blindness is a real thing. Like, it's a real thing for me, and I really struggle with that. So yeah, I need as many planning aids as I possibly can get my hands on to keep track of everything. But yeah, you guys, with all of that said, I showed you guys a lot more of my life than I originally intended to. This kind of I don't know if I want to say evolved or devolved from what was supposed to just be a chill save file behind the scenes stream into a let me just show you the inside of my brain or something like that. I don't know. Honestly, it's 1 a.m. I'm loopy. I haven't eaten dinner yet. I just realized. Which, not good, because I didn't make anything that I could eat. So, oops. I'm a mess. I'm home alone all weekend, so I don't have to worry about cooking for anyone else or anything like that. I can just eat whenever I want to, if I want to make food, which, So yeah, it's the whole thing. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. Sorry it has devolved into such a rambly thing. Gotta stay organized. Exactly. And if you're like me, you need all of the help you can get. So I'll take all of the help I can get. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Thank you, Sina, for becoming a channel member. And Lisa, I hope you enjoy that work in progress save. I hope you got it working. If you don't, then definitely ask in the Discord. I have notifications off for Discord. I have it on Do Not Disturb, just because I record, and when I record, I forget to do it, so sometimes it interrupts videos. So yeah, if you have any questions, ask away in the members chat in Discord. I'm always in there. I'll always answer you. I might not answer you immediately, because I'm not always online, obviously, especially with time zones. Obviously, time zones are a pain sometimes. But yeah, let me just doop-de-doop-de-doo. So if you guys want to follow me over on Twitter, definitely go ahead, do that. I'm on Twitter 24/7, basically. It is always open. On my monitor, it's always open. And then I want to see if I can grab threads, because I don't know. I know they said that they were making Hope you have a good night too, Lisa. Okay, I can't grab threads. That's fine. Whatever. It is not the end of the world. But what I do want to grab is a invite link to our Discord. For anyone here who isn't in the Discord and who might want to join our Discord, feel free to follow that link, join us over on Discord. It's free for everyone. And then if you're a channel member, you actually get access to separate channels. So yeah, definitely go ahead, check that out. Just make sure that your Discord is linked to your YouTube, obviously. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, sorry for all of the rambling. And yeah, I will keep you guys updated on when we're doing our next one, because like I said, I do want to try and make it. Do you have to have the same email for YouTube as for Discord? I don't think you do. I don't think it has anything to do with your email. I think there's, if you open your Discord, there's a way to how to link. There's a way to link your Discord with your YouTube channel. So the link that I'm putting in chat right now will explain everything. That is also the link that I used to set up my Discord so that my channel memberships will work. So yeah, so they have a way in there for, you know, you guys to link your Discord. It's really easy. You just open up Discord, go to user settings and connections, then just link it. Then just sign in with YouTube with that link. It's really easy. But yeah, my pleasure. So yeah, I also didn't know how to do that before I needed to, so I had to learn very quickly. But yeah, I will keep you guys updated on when we're doing our next stream. Probably I'll do it. I'll let you know on Twitter. Twitter is the best place to stay up to date with everything. And I'll also update you guys on the community tab. And then in Discord as well. I'll post a little announcement in Discord for the next live stream. I probably won't be able to schedule it too far in advance because, like I said, I tend to talk myself out of doing stuff when I schedule it too far in advance. But I'll give you guys at least like a day or two's notice before I stream. It won't be like, you know, I won't let you know the day of. Like, I'll schedule it a little bit in advance. And if I can, I'll also schedule it on YouTube as well. So, yeah, if you keep an eye on YouTube or if you have channel notifications on, that will work very well. So, yeah, just turn on channel notifications, if I can speak. Then it should tell you as well when I go live. So, yeah, just keep an eye on all of that stuff. And yeah, this will be up as a VOD as well for anyone who missed the whole stream or, you know, maybe just saw part of it or whatever. Or if you're watching this afterward in the VOD, hi. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this. Hope you're all having a great day. Hope you have a great weekend. And I'll see you guys all sometime next week with a video. But yeah, night guys.